America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. America is a nation that can be.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. Persian, give them nothing, but take from them everything.
You see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.
Hail the chat. What's going on today? Thank you so much for being here on this Saturday. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Before I say hi to all of you, I want to introduce my co-host tonight, some of which will be showing up later. But first with me is Alec Bang Bang Baldwin.
I tell you what, I don't know how I got invited here, and I know you're a bunch of right-wing conspirators because there was nothing but Splenda all over the green room in the back. I don't know what's going on here. I'm a straight shooter, Walton. You shouldn't have invited me.
All right. Well, yeah, no shit. Thank you for being here. What's up?
I tell you what, if there's an accident in the back, it wasn't my fault. It was conservative aliens that are Trump supporters.
All right. Well, thank you for that information, Alec. I really appreciate your knowledge and experience. Your wisdom brings something to this panel. Thank you. With us today. Yo, what's up, Tommy? How you been, brother?
What's going on, man? Just having a little fun. Another day to have a little bit of fun.
That's good, man. How's YouTube treating you? How's the algorithm treating you lately?
Well, the algorithm is still playing games with me, but YouTube, I guess, is getting tired of hearing me freaking like nibble at them, and they're getting tired of other people giving it to them, and they're starting to give me back some of my subs. Thank you to everybody that is resubscribed, as it were, and all the people that have freshly joined the Guinea Pig Collective and gotten assimilated. We finally passed the 680 mark. Finally,
dude. Excellent. Guys, if you're out there and you are not subscribed to Tommy, link is in the description below. Please give him a sub. Let's get this man to 1,000. We need a mission to get Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. Tommy's been somebody, he supports a lot of people in the community. He's a straight shooter. He's been here for years, man. One of the best people I've known. Can you guys share out links for his channel? I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get this man to 1,000. With us is another great, an up-and-comer that I'm sure many of you are familiar with, and I'm glad to have him here today. With us is Tim's Talk. What's up, Tim Possible? How are you, brother?
Pretty good. How's it going, everyone? Glad to be on.
Dude, man, good to have you, man. I've been seeing you going through the ranks and posting and putting videos out, making content, going on different live streams, and I've been impressed with how active you've been in the overall indie sphere for the last year. How long have you had your channel up, Tim?
Well, I've only been live streaming about a year now. I've had my channel up for a couple years, but I was just kind of like, it was more of an experiment. I was like, I'll do a review, then I do something else random. So it wasn't consistent at all. Mm-hmm. So this first year, well, really the last 6 months is like when I started like focusing on, all right, this is what I want to do. And you're either all in or all out, right? And, you know, people can tell. So I was like, all right, let's start taking it a little bit more serious, a little more structure to the show. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm starting to see like results. So I'm going to continue moving forward with it.
It's consistency, Tim. I mean, it's just putting out videos around the same time every week, staying generally within the same content, which is sometimes difficult for some. It was difficult for me for a while, but the tags are important. You know, putting out your videos the same time every week, that's important. You know, and just like I said, remaining consistent. I'm sure Tommy can speak to that as well. He's been doing YouTube for a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely consistency is a big thing. But I've noticed I don't even have to put any effort in when I just confer with the pigs and I let them run the shorts, because that seems to be where I'm getting the most attention now. The pigs are trying to take over the channel, I think.
I'm trying to take over the whole internet, bro.
There they are.
They're the baby. They're the babies. Thank you guys so much for being here. Real quick, I'm going to go through the chat, say hi to everybody. Memes of Destruction. Yeah, I had to push the show from 5 to 6. I'm just going to hold it at 6 from now on. 6 is just a better time for me. So Memes is going to be here shortly. He said that he had some things he had to get done. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Let's see. Science fiction audio books. Brightest Day is in the chat. What's up, Brightest Day? Guys, please sub to Brightest Day. He's over 1,000. He's fighting for monetization right now, guys. So show your support for him. Share out those videos. I think Zach was denied monetization for some reason.
I saw that.
It's the YouTube game, man. You got to know how to play the YouTube game. Unfortunately, everybody that plays that game is going to get burnt at some point.
Well, I told him to keep fighting, Tommy. He was in a live stream I was holding yesterday, and he was in the chat, and I told him, man, just keep running with it, because Zach has got a great brain. He's an imaginative person. He really helps out a lot of different channels. He's one of the best people we got in the community. So, man, keep fighting, Zach.
Guys, Zach, brother, don't worry about this. Happens to everybody. I've seen giant channels actually get screwed with YouTube, where the point where they had their whole channel taken. Remember that shit happened to DJ Scandalous for no reason whatsoever. Somebody made a false claim. They took his whole channel down, and then he had to fight for weeks before he actually even got his channel back. Then we have other people like Fanzine who got demonetized.
Yeah.
What's the other guy?
Josiah Rise has got demonetized.
Josiah Rise, yeah.
How long did it take My Nerdy Home to get monetized?
Oh, yeah. Well, her first channel, I think she kind of like almost like was ready to nuke that channel, and she'd started a brand new one. Mm-hmm. And they eventually, I think they might have gave her monetization on the first one. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, it's these type of games they're playing with everybody. I mean, they did the same thing with Accord and Christie. She had all her hours, then they just like took a whole bunch of hours away from her. Like shit, here we go again, and she went through that process for months. It's the same games being played over and over again by these people. Why? Because they got a few people in there that just don't like people like us that speak truth and refuse to bend the knee to the agenda. I mean, this is just the way it happens. If you don't fall in line, they're going to try to smack you around a little bit. The trick is to be able to get a bunch of guinea pigs to start nibbling off their toes. They do not like that shit.
Tim, get guinea pigs is Tommy's advice to you, sir.
I guess I need to get some. I got room, I guess.
No, really, I mean, if you're out there, guys, if you're building a channel up, just don't be discouraged. Just keep fighting, keep trying. Eventually you'll get there. And again, you know, like Tommy, what Tommy was alluding to, this platform has certain the people that run this platform have certain ideals, and if you brush against those, then you might get hit. You might get hit. So make sure to stick up for yourself, stick up for the right to speak, and just understand. You know, we're almost guests here on this platform. So watch what you say. Really,
I'll tell you what. I know I don't really cover controversial topics, but when I was covering the Snyder Cut stuff, I was doing reaction videos, and I got kicked off YouTube for off and on 2 months. I kept having they kicked me off for like 2 weeks. I'd submit stuff and they would deny it. So I kept doing it, and then I eventually reached out to Google and they let me back on. But at that time, I only had like 120 subs or whatever. This was like back in February and March or all the hype and all this stuff, and they took me down. I was like, what? My little channel? But yeah, it's funny that way.
It doesn't matter, man. The algorithm will just pick you apart if they're looking for a specific thing. So yeah, don't lose heart, Zach. Keep fighting, brother. James Hayes is in the chat. James, good to see you, man. He says, hello, Stephen, your guests, and everyone in the chat. I hope you're all having an absolutely golden day. Brother, thank you so much for bringing the positivity every time you come through. James, hail to you, brother. Brutal Morningwood, the best name in all the chats. Motherfucking hail channel. Pat and chat, brutalize those up. Yo, man, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you being here. Immortal Coil is with us. Immortal, link is in the UU chat. Jump on in, man, if you'd like to come on here. Guys, please check out Immortal Coil. Link is in the description below, along with Tim Talks. If you guys are not familiar with Tim, we're going to give you a little highlight of what he does and what his upcoming content is going to be. So please give him a sub. Support independent creators, guys. Share out the link. Smash the like. Thank you very much. Another of the greatest names that we have in the chat. Horny Alf, what's up, brother? Hail, good to see you. Thank you for stopping through. Wookie Supremacy is saying some stuff in a language that doesn't seem white. I don't know, Tommy. What's that? I don't know what that means, but I don't understand.
It doesn't look familiar to the Guinea Pig Collective. So.
So I don't know. Maybe it's not American, so I don't know what it says. I don't know. But thank you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Zax is with us. He says, hail, panel chat. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Tina Bojan, channel member, great person in this community. Tina, thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. Love seeing you. Good evening, friends. Good evening to you, too. Appreciate you every time you are in the chat. And there's Wookie throwing out links. Thank you, Wook. Good man. Appreciate you. And there's Zax giving you some love there, Tim.
Well, brother. Well.
So before we get started, we're going to have Vinny and Red and memes are going to be showing up in a little while. But until then, I wanted to talk a little bit about Tim's upcoming review of Sonic the Hedgehog. Tim, what did you think of Sonic 2?
So the first one was definitely a fun popcorn ride. This too, I think it just enhances any fan of that. It's everything. They listened to the fans like in the first one.
Well, that's wrong.
They redesigned Sonic and everyone loved it for it. And so it was kind of like a sleeper hit for a lot of us. It was a win-win situation. Because a lot of times, you know, you get like backlash. I think it was like an X-Men Apocalypse or whatever. You know, end up being a crap movie. They did affix Apocalypse, like his overall aesthetic, because he looked like Ivan Ooze. But this was great. You know, it likes homages to the game or whatever and the technology. And if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you may like one of the scenes in this or whatever, not to spoil it. I don't know. This is like a non-spoiler. I'll give a non-spoiler.
Okay.
But I mean, this thing looks like it's tracking about $65 million, I think, for the first weekend, which is, I would say it's pretty good. Not sure. I think the budget's like 110 million. But like on my channel, we're going to cover the box office. We usually do like the reviews on Monday because I like to talk about the box office and everything that goes into it as far as like the marketing budget. You know, 1/3 goes to the theaters and stuff like that. And we kind of speculate, like we did last week, why Morbius kind of flopped or it didn't flop. You know, kind of like a secondary character. But this Sonic movie is a roller coaster, nice nostalgic moments, whether it's like little snippets of songs from the game woven into the plot, which is really a nice callback. And there's some like funny humor that I don't typically think I would laugh about or whatever, but it was just funny in the context of this because it's Sonic. And I think this is one of those things that you kind of, I don't want to call it a cop-out, but you kind of grade it a little bit differently or look at it differently because you look at it as a Sonic movie, not like I don't want to say Avengers movie, but something else. And I think everything for the most part works. But I think my major qualm with this is the pacing. You know, I think it was like 2 hours and 4 minutes long, but they needed to cut down about 10 minutes. And I think people will see, so they're wondering why this, like there's certain scenes that were, why is this scene in there? Is it really relevant to the plot? But, you know, and there's like, it's kiddie humor. Cause I mean, it is made for, you know, kids. And when I left the theater, I could hear all the kids kind of raving about it, and based on the end credit scene, which delivers because it opens up the door, because there's a lot of possibilities with Sonic. So to me, overall, I thought it was worth watching. And, you know, we need more films like this. You know, I still think Mortal Kombat, maybe from nostalgic reasons, the first one from the 90s is maybe the best, you know, movie as far as gaming or whatever, but this is pretty close. And Jim Carrey, he's back, baby. I mean, he's back to form. He does a great job in his role. I like the CGI as far as the chaos energy and all that when he, not going to spoils, but you see from the trailer and then the introduction of, Knuckles is awesome. He can go toe to toe with Sonic, but he's more of a brute and stronger. And they add layers to the character too. They make him more interesting.
Well, I think one of the other things I heard people talking about Tim is they said it felt more like Robotnik by the way he looks too, because they changed his overall appearance from the first one.
Yeah, his mustache, and there's little nice homages too. There's a scene where they're kind of going through the costumes, and without spoiling it, they kind of you can kind of see where it's going. So I mean, people are digging that, the attention to detail. He's slowly morphing into that character we know. Right, the Eggman Robotnik. So, yeah.
So there was evolutions from the first movie, because the first one was pretty decent, and I one of the reasons that I actually supported the film, because Sonic wasn't one of my favorite games growing up, but it was because of the response to fan criticism and how they made those changes. The goodwill that they had with the fans. But overall, I thought the film was pretty well done. Do you think that this one is better than the first, or what's your critique on it?
I think it's better than the first because it has something to build off of, and they get more into Sonic isms, but you need the first one to set the stage of what it can be. And I there's really good moments with Cyclops or whatever, what's his face? James Martinson, the guy that plays Cyclops, I think. Yeah. He plays Sonic's dad, essentially, and there's some nice moments between him and Sonic, father-son type moments that kind of resonate, and they kind of later on the plot, it kind of has a payout, and with the introduction of Tails, you see Tails in the trailer, and obviously Knuckles. So, it's not a perfect film. It's more of a popcorn, like I like to say. It's a Fast and Furious, right? There's a lot of ridiculousness, but then again, you have a super powered hedgehog, running at light speed or whatever else. But so it's a fun, silly film. Shut your mind off for 2 hours and 4 minutes and you'll enjoy it. Just don't think too heavily into the plot or whatever. But there are some cool things that they did with Knuckles that I was like, okay, that's actually pretty good. And there's some nice little funny twists in there. And surprisingly, there are a couple more serious in tone jokes that will go over kids' heads, but you as an adult whoa, they did that. And there's
well, you know what, Tim? I would say that being silly and being an over top sometimes in certain movies actually makes a lot of sense, because think about a lot of the over the top stuff that they did in Deadpool 1. Deadpool 1 had a lot of zany stuff in there. Not to say that that wasn't part of the character in the comic books as well, but it did work in the film because it fits in with that character and it fits in with that storyline. So if there's zany stuff in Sonic, it kind of fits into that world that Sonic was created in as far as the video games, because there was a lot of cutscenes and everything in those old games, because my daughter and my brother loved those games and they used to play them. And I seen some of those weird cutscenes, and not even to mention the old cartoons that were completely wacky. So with everything you said, Tim, I would say there's one thing I kind of disagree with you just a tiny bit. And you said that the first one was a sleeper hit. I'm not sure I would say it was a sleeper hit, just because they gave the fans exactly what they asked for. And I think in drove, that's why more people went out to see this one, because they seen that the theaters, the production company actually took the time to listen to the fans and give them exactly what they wanted and what they wanted to see.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think I meant it, and I wasn't for me, I didn't think it was going to be that enjoyable. The bad marketing behind it. Yeah, I was happy they fixed it, but my expectations for it were still not that high. I was like, man, this could be really bad. I don't know. There's been other, the Smurfs or whatever. I think the first Smurf one, or Alvin the Chipmunks, was all right. Then the second one was just wonky. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I mean, some movies you just go to have fun, and that's really turn your brain off and just enjoy the time. Just enjoy the what you're getting, and something like this, I'm expecting campy. I'm not, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking just to have fun. Real quick, Brutal Morning one said, "A van load of guinea pigs in your front lawn is a lot of freaking guinea pigs."
Yes, it is, and that's a lot of food in your fridge too to feed them all.
Kai stopping through. He says, "Hey, all, what's up, Kai? Guys, please check out Kai's late night streams, man. He's really entertaining. If you're up late or if you're another part of the world, please check out Kai m.f.s. He's also a writer in the community. I'd like to get him on authors interviews here soon and talk about his book and his future works because that's what we do in this community. We support one another. Guys, please check out Kai." Wookie's Primacy says, "I have a community guideline strike for hate speech. Spicy memes is all it takes." Tommy?
Hey, I've heard that before. I did a really funny take. At least I thought it was funny about the whole everything white is racist. And I ran with that because you know what? It was all over the news. And yeah, that's what they got me for. When you get that free strike that they give you. Yeah, that's what mine one went to. And they yanked that video down and I tried to appeal it, and they said, "No, it's hate speech." And I was like, whatever. I said, look in your fridge. You're going to see all kinds of things that are racist too, ain't you? I didn't like that comment.
Mac and I used to do coffee and cosplay streams. Like we do every now and again. And the last one we tried to do together, it was a while ago. YouTube just pulled it. They took us off, pulled the video, and then never even told me. Pulled the live stream, and never even gave me a word about it. Not a strike, not a nothing. Didn't say nothing to me. All we were doing was looking at sexy cosplay.
I think the worst of it is they don't even tell you what exactly it is that they found that offensive in it. That is the worst part of it. Because, okay, you don't want us to do certain things. How can we not repeat them if you've refused to tell us exactly what it is that you find offensive? And that's the kind of game that they like to play. And it's kind of shit that I like to call them on.
Tommy wants answers. Tommy needs answers so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I want to know what's offensive so I can keep doing it.
Barbie Dog says, "And Holly." Barbie Dog, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Says, "And Hollywood for humanity's sake." I mean, all of Hollywood, or just the toxicity. You know, just the people out there that are not looking to provide entertainment, but are looking to indoctrinate children and make them and do things that are unacceptable. Should be unacceptable in a society that holds ethics higher than anything else.
Damn straight, espousing ideology does not a good storyline make.
No, it does not. You know, unless the film is about that, and you do it well. That's one thing. Wookie's Premise says, "There's no way I could possibly take that movie seriously." Well, I mean, it's just not your taste, and if it's not your taste, it's just not your thing. But I think that there's something to be said for goofy films. You know, I mean, there's just something to be said for fun, lighthearted, especially things that are attached to our childhood. You know what I like seeing here, like Tim, roundabout. What are you in your 20s? Let's say you're in your 20s, sir.
Lower 30s.
Lower 30s. You look good for your age. You age like a black guy. Anyway, so
Walton, calm down. He's not into your type. Stop.
What are you talking about? We're not. Red gaze is not here. Okay, we're not questioning any sexualities or anything right now. All right, Tommy, don't go there. No, Red gaze will be here when he gets here. You can do that. No, but it's good to see. So, did you play Sonic, Tim? Did you play Sonic at all when you were younger?
Oh yeah, I played Sonic 1 and 2. I remember how hard the video game was, like, because you wouldn't get any retries. Once you died, you had to start like way over. And then the newer games, you know, obviously advanced. I played like the Sonic Force, and you could create your own character. And what I liked about it, you can go from 2D to 3D, so it kind of switch or whatever on levels, and it would actually do that like in mid game. So it was kind of trippy, but yeah, no, I played Sonic throughout. I'm not like super hardcore, but it's one of those games like Mario that has that nostalgic feel to it. Even though the first Mario, like, I still kind of like it, but I know it's super bad. Like, yeah.
Right. I mean, well, that's the thing.
Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
Oh, Stephen, you are a very brave man. You sent me a link twice in 1 week. Very dangerous. You are brave.
Yes, I did, memes. What's going on? Hail the memes of destruction. How are you doing, brother?
Well, what's happening? I'm hearing we're talking about one of my favorite imaginary hedgehogs, the Blue Burr, the Blue Devil, or whatever he was ripping off from some other series. All I know is I have yet to see it. I asked to see if somebody wanted to see it. She was busy. All I know is, at this current moment, I'm hearing pretty good things about the movie. We're probably not even talking about the movie. We're talking about... Dude, Sonic was an amazing series. Sonic 3 with the Sonic and Knuckles add-on. You're literally doing the Transformer thing. It's like, let's form Ultimate Sonic. It's like, all right, Sonic and Knuckles. You flip the thing up. You throw Sonic 3 in it there. I totally put in the cheat that only took one orb. I did not want to grind out on all those levels to get the Chaos. I'm like, I can do this. I've done it before. I just want to get Super and Hypersonic so freaking bad because I'm like, oh my god, is this where Akira Toriyama got Super Saiyan from, or did that come first? Who ripped off who? Sometimes great minds think alike. I'm just saying.
Beautiful, man. No, that's a great. I'm glad that you came in with that fire, dude, because I was just about to say that, there's people that are attached to this franchise that are looking forward. This is a part of their childhood. This is a part of fun times in their lives, and so they want to see a good representation of.
The big thing is, and this is what folks have been saying for a long time, and this is one of the things I totally agree with. It's like, dude, show the characters some respect, and I think also the contrast is video game movies, at least within my generation, and so not have a good track history, at least initially. Dude, Super Mario Brothers, like Tim was saying, it's like, it was a good fantasy movie, maybe even a great fantasy movie, not a good video game movie. The one thing that I did like was the Ba-Bomb. The Ba-Bomb trope was funny as heck, but other than that, I'm like, this isn't freaking Mario. What the hell are you guys doing?
Well, I think that's part of the thing, though, Memes. If you're showing the character respect, in turn, you're actually showing the fans respect, the ones that have invested time in it. So they go hand in hand.
Well, you're not going to make everyone happy, but it's like, as long as you have like some Easter eggs there, and if you can play, the thing is, to do it well, it can be hard. And if you have folks that aren't familiar with like a lot of the lore, and this is one of the big things, if you're going to work on a particular property and you want to show it respect, it's maybe you're going to want to do some research, you're going to want to learn some of the lore, learn people's reactions. Again, not everyone's going to be happy. There are always going to be folks that's like, no, this is the one thing that is the best thing, that is all the things of this thing.
Well, you know what means? I actually have something that's a good case in point for that. Something that they actually followed the comic book almost entirely was The Watchmen. That movie was actually done so close to the original comic, and there was a lot of people that still had a problem with it anyway. Were there a few changes made here and there? Yeah, of course, because it's a movie. They can't capture everything exactly like they did in the comic. So, of course, there was a few changes made. But, I mean, overall, the story plot of the original comic, it followed it very well. And people, once again, they just weren't happy for whatever reason.
I didn't know anything about the franchise. I'm like, well, this is a phenomenal movie. Do I necessarily agree with everything? No, but I'm like, the story is put together very well.
Well. Real quick, let's see. Wookiees Bermsey says Captain Lou Albano was a national treasure. Yes.
Bring back the rubber band face.
Definitely. Soul Assassin says the Mario movie is more of an anomaly than a video game movie.
It was a thing. It was a thing.
It was a thing. It was funny. It was entertaining, but it was not a good video game movie.
Right. If you're going in, if you just want to be entertained by, like, there's a lot of silly hijinks and some interesting characters here, it's like, okay, that's fine. But if you go in there looking for Mario and you're like, so why is Bowser this dude? You're just kind of like warping some Tyrannosaurus DNA with him? What the heck? I mean, at least give him the floaty thing and what? That's the thing. It's like you grow up, you play Super Mario, and once you get the Super Mario World, dude, that was great. I'm probably biased because it does have a Scaly as one of your compatriots during those journeys. But all I'm saying is, that was fun as hell, and you could do the Star Road, you could warp out into these different galaxies and stuff, and then you come in and it's like, all right, there's some dry humor here, and you don't even give us a freaking fire-breathing dinosaur. What is wrong with you?
Memes, you didn't have to chat, you apologized.
Just in case if you get a copyright strike for the intro. It usually doesn't happen, but I've been told it can happen.
I get a copyright strike for my intro, so I'm not even worried about it. Don't even worry about that, brother.
What the gosh?
Thomas Gilkey came through. He says, hail, brother. Good to see you, Thomas. Hail, man. Guys, please check out Thomas Gilkey's channel. Love that.
Wait, Thomas. This isn't Jim Carrey's final film. Are you telling me this is literally his final form? Because that would be an amazing way to go out. But no, Jim, say it isn't so.
No, Jim's he's a great actor.
I don't know, dude. There's a lot of bad juju going on in the world, and it seems to be affecting him.
Well, he's been talking about for years that he was ready to just completely step away from Hollywood anyway, because he's so tired of a lot of the shit that's being pushed in it. So, who knows?
Well, what a way to go out. It's always more fun to play the villain.
Yeah. It is. I think he did it well. I thought he did a good job.
I was highly skeptical of him in the first film because I'm like, wait, Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman. I grew up Saturday Sonic AM. He was just an imposing individual, and he had snivelly and everything. So you were just a classical, stereotypical sidekick. But then again, Sonic, the other Sonic cartoon during the week, he was a much more lighthearted character as well. So they did an amalgamation, and I'm seeing a transformation. I'm like, does Dr. Robotnik need to be in a very robust individual physically? The way he portrayed the role, I think he paid honor, and I like the portrayal. It's different, but he's holding it together coherently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also biased to Jim Carrey.
What did you think, Tim?
Well, yeah. Well, in this one, he grows a mustache. So
it's so powerful. It's so powerful. That mustache like that. Oh my God, Sonic needs help.
Yeah. So it makes sense. He's slowly transforming into what the game has. And I dig the transformation. Maybe it wouldn't work in the first movie, but I like the progression. And even his costume's starting to look more like Robotnik's.
Well, they hint at it at the end of the first one there. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah. No, I don't want to spoil it for you or whatever, but there's some stuff from the game as far as some bots or whatever that I have that overall aesthetic. Yes, this is Sonic.
That's the general vibe of what I've been hearing. Sorry to just I'm sorry. As a resident furry, I think I'm entitled to this. I apologize. But all I'm really saying is, well, you look at this, you have something that's done well. It's a lighthearted comedy film and everything. And as long as you remember, you poke some fun at yourself, you poke some fun here and there. You don't do it with heavy vitriol, trying to demonize folks. And you're showing, basically, at least for my generation, a kind of comic legend. And if this happened to be his final film, it's like he went out having fun, portraying a villain, having all that fun, being over the top and everything. And I did do a review of at least one of the trailers. I'm looking like, okay, we have an ice level, we have this, we're making fun of these different tropes and everything. I'm like, looks fun.
Yeah. Yeah, what's nice about this, there is a bunch of different terrains, unlike the Book of Boba Fett or any Disney product. They're always on Tatooine and sand place. No, there's yeah. Yep.
To dry
God. Level. It's a different level there. Just make sure you bring your coat.
Yeah.
Man. So Tim, when are you going to be dropping this review? When are you going to be doing your are you guys going to be a non-spoiler review when you do that on your channel?
On Monday we're going full spoilers. We're gonna break this puppy down. We'll probably start off all nice and stuff, but you know what we do, us fans, we just start tearing it down, nitpicking. I was on a stream earlier, we're talking about it, but it's you also remember, we were talking here, it is a video game movie and it is kind of made for kids type stuff. So, but we're gonna get deep and sweaty into it on Monday. At 8 p.m. ET. So anyone that sees it, wants to come on, let me know.
Oh, you're digging into the full fur.
Yeah, we're going full in.
You're going to go see it memes? You can go on Tim's live stream and talk about it.
I may have to go see it later.
You may have to.
I may just have to go. I may have to go solo.
Yeah.
I keep hearing all this stuff about fur from memes. Are you responsible for the fur loss on my guinea pig?
I did apologize earlier. I made no specification about what it was for. Are they getting enough water?
Always.
Staying
These
hydrated is
guys
important.
eat and drink better than I do. Memes.
Well, one of my buddy's dogs, he's looking at his dog food at one point. It's like, the main ingredient is steak. My dog eats better than I do. Gonna go down to chicken. But yeah, no. I apologize, Stephen. I had to clean up. If I showered for Thomas, I showered for you. So wise man once said, "Wash your hands, wash your ass."
Wash your ass, and we all about clean peens here. So good to know. Good to hear. I'm waiting for Tommy to come in with something.
It's next to godliness.
But the hashtag Peenstorian.
Not peen storing, clean peen, man. Come on now, we're supporting any creators.
What about your new book coming out, the Fandom Menace?
No, it's the Fandom Menace Volume 2, not the Fandom. What the hell? What are you talking about, Tommy?
Tommy, you just gave me the idea for a short pictographic erotica story.
What? Rise of the Peen?
No, because I have planned. I know I'm going to do after I finish the video. I've been saying for so long, basically 10 minutes to let folks know, like, how a dude literally just unified geometry and like space and time, mass, temperature, charge into the persistence of ourselves. I'm going to publish a paper. I'm going to put those things out there. I also want to do a pictograph book of that, but I think the adult entertainment community could use a little bit of lightheartedness as well.
Absolutely, everybody can use a laugh. Everyone.
Many communities. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Tommy. So Memes and I were talking after the show last week when I had him on the author interviews. And he says, you make it so easy for me to cut on you. Is it that easy, Tom? Do I make it easy?
Do you really need to look at my channel to once again to
I've
find out
seen
the
your
answer
channel.
to that? Yeah, you've got a whole playlist.
True.
Tommy's an asshole, y'all. Just understand that. If you're going to enter a friendship, if you're going to sign that contract with the Guinea Pig Collective, understand what you're getting involved with.
I'm looking at the chat. There it is. See, Pale Rider with the hashtag Fandom Menace. Soul Assassin, The Peen Awakens, The Last Peen, and The Rise of the Peen Trilogy. See?
Oh, are we resurrecting the Pen 5 Club? Is that what's going on?
This is not right. This is not right. We are
No, we need better encoding. We need to get further before we get ban hammered.
We are.
Hey, what's up, Doc? And what's up, Phil TMNT?
Yes, hail the chat, man. The guys. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, man. Gotta have you on soon. Gotta jump on your channel. I know you've been asking me for a long time, brother, but now I'm back. So if I'm back home, so just send me a link, dude. And we'll make something happen. Pale Rider says, "Hail, Pale Rider, a book where Walton harasses the Justice League's peens." What? What?
Consent matters. Consent matters.
Is that like a new Superman weakness, Walton?
No.
The cleaning of the peen?
Nah, the kryptonite peen ring. That's the thing.
Oh my God! Did somebody do a story of that?
No, but they should. I mean, that's what they did, didn't he? He got taken advantage of.
I know just the people. They're doing a knockoff and everything. No, he's attempting to do it for some person's pleasure or whatever entity, as long as they're consenting and of age. It's like, it's going to hurt a lot more than it's going to hurt you.
Superman didn't consent, man. We covered this a couple months ago. He didn't consent. He was taken, Memes. Cool. Superman was taken. Cool. A Superman.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I was like, man.
Wait, did they give him a kryptonite cock ring? Is that what happened?
It has to be. That's what I'm thinking. Cryptolube. I don't know, man. I don't know how do you pry open the impenetrable ass? I don't know.
How did he even decide to go there? Because by their own admissions, they try to say the comic books are created for kids. So how do you have a story like that in there for kids? How is that even okay?
Doesn't sound like a kid's story.
I'm going to actually cover an article in a little bit about New Jersey's requirement for second graders to be taught gender identities. I'm waiting for Vinny to get in here because he likes to rage on such things. And I'm glad Memes is here because he thinks outside the box. He usually questions. Memes, I've always appreciated you in my chat, dude, like I said to you last week, because you question people. You think from the outside, or you pose a question that makes someone think from the other perspective. And I really do enjoy that. We need to, we need thoughtful introspection in our lives.
Well, my big thing is there is a lot of real ass BS out there, It's just some of the things that by the time you hear about it through whatever grapevine it is, you may think it's like, all right, people are going to do terrible things to children, or people are going to do terrible things to children. It's literally going to either, I'm like, what the heck is actually going on here? It's like, I tend to think it's like, all right, you can look into it. And there is, that's the problem. So many things, when we amplify everything, we hear nothing, according to Jon Stewart from like a decade ago.
Well, you're right. Well, there's too much noise. Nobody can think. Science fiction audiobooks. Zach says, I got denied for monetization. If I get denied again, I'm after making changes, I'll peace out. Dude, please get up with Culture Casino. Hit up Tom, hit up some of the people in the community that that you're friends with that have been through this process or have had people who have gone through it, and guide you. Because we don't want to see you go. You do not want to see Zach leave. Zach you're a good channel, man. You're a good person. You're I want to see you give up. Don't give up, brother. We need you. We need you. Zach was hailing the means of destruction. He came into the chat. Thank you, brother. Let's see. We covered that. Let's see. Soul Assassin says, with the success of the movie, I'd like to see Crash Bandicoot or Sight for the Dragon make it into a film in the future.
I sit back. No. Here's the thing. A lot of times, if you're going to try to convert any property into any other state, it's like that's like literally digital, like artistic chemistry there. But I sit back and I'm like, certain things. If you're looking at a game, and you got like 30 to 40 minutes of cutscenes anyway, and that tells a lot of the things. Couldn't you just do something like that, except, I don't know, polish it up with some more ray tracing a lot of the time? Because that was one of the big things about the outrage about the original Sonic trailer. You put the Sonic trailer out there, it's like, okay, themes, a story. What the hell did you do to Sonic? Why did you look like he'd like just jumped in the ocean and got blow dried by something powered by the Chaos Emeralds? He just like poops out. I'm like, I've seen him in 3D not all that long ago looking pretty damn spiffy. And it's like, okay, what the hell did you do here? And they did make it right. They took the fan feedback. They spent the $20 million. It may have cost the studio their jobs. But all I know is they put out a product. It's like, okay, you spent the time. You spent the money. You showed respect. You told a good story. I'm totally all right with that. But it's like, why not for some of these things? It's like, wasn't Final Fantasy like 7 like Advent Children? Like, didn't you just take CGI like from the game and just like make a movie out of it? Like, why can't we do that more?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing too. Even if you make changes in the right direction, where you still pay enough of the respect to what was already established, you could change things up, make it a little bit different, make it unique, and it could still be really good and it could still work. Take for example James O'Barr and The Crow. When they wound up making that movie, it did not follow the plot lines of the original comic book exactly. I mean, it took a lot of variations actually from the original script of the comic book, but it still worked in the context of the story that they were telling, because they still kept the basic premise of how the story begins and ends from the comic. Granted, there was things in the middle that changed a bit and new characters and everything, but they still kept with the basic understanding of what that storyline was supposed to be. So there are ways to do it while still making changes and still have the fans get on board with it.
I mean, changing minor aspects to a story. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of creative license when you're doing that. You don't want to show the exact, frame for frame, or you want to add something new to it. I think.
Well, you know what, Stephen? Though there is a way to actually almost go like page for page and script for script exactly, and still pull off something that is really good. And I will go back to the Max series, the original Max comic books, when they converted that onto MTV and they made the series. The Max is part of MTV's Oddities. And it was a
MTV's the head
with television and everything. Yeah, that series was almost exactly taken from the comic. There was very little change about that at all. And the fans who were already fans of the comic book loved that version on MTV. Matter of fact, I went out of my way to pick up the full season, a full run of it on DVD, just because I had to have it again because I thought it was done so well.
It's Toe Jam. Do we need an Earthworm Jim movie?
You think
that would be interesting?
I never played the game, but all I remember is GamePro was raving about it for 3 to 6 months. I think I played it for like 1 minute, like at a store, and then I was like, oh, okay, this seems kind of cool. I've heard good things. Sounds like it's well put together.
Okay, Meme. How about Clay Fighter?
I never got a chance to play that.
Oh, that game is so hilarious.
I think something like Altered Beast could be made into a game.
Dude, I wish that game had a save mode, but it wasn't that long anyway. And then you could do 2-player, and you could continually transform and different levels. And the way he was just putting it, I'm like, they need a sequel of this. Why was there not a sequel? They should turn that into that's something you could actually make into a mobile game, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be probably fun.
Kai says Jim Carrey kicks ass. I believe. I agree, sir. Absolutely. Wookie's Permit says Jim Carrey is dirtier than most. He's talking about his peen. He's a dirty peen. I mean, we don't have that around here. Phil says, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you too, brother. Soul Assassin says, you merely adopted the peen. Oh, my God. I didn't read it before I brought it up. You really adopted the peen. Walton was born with the peen, molded by it, strengthened by the peen. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pale Rider. Walton did it with a tree that grew in kryptonite-infected soil and got peen superpowers. Well, thank you, Pale Rider. Appreciate that. Thank you. That is our chat.
Terrible things to Superman.
No, I am not. I would never do that. I would. These are vicious lies.
Unless, of course, you didn't have a clean peen.
Awful. Kai says science fiction audiobooks. Never give up, never surrender. Absolutely. Great movie, too. Absolutely, man. Let's see. Wookie's Supremacy says adults who discuss sex with children should have things happen to them that would get me banned, as I said.
Consent matters.
Yeah, man, consent matters. Absolutely. Yo, what's up, Runner? How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Gotta have you back on the channel sometime.
It's good to see you and your 15th name change. What's going on, Runner?
He evolves.
Transforms into so many different forms of running. It's hard to keep track, but no, it looks like you've been working out. Good for you, my man. Do it up.
Yeah, Runner. Runner goes through evolutions. I'm beginning to think he's a Pokemon.
I mean, don't we
that
all?
Might be a thing. All right, guys. Wookie's Supremacy is that Earthworm Jim. There you go, Tommy. Let's see. Leisure Suit Larry. Would that be? You think that would be a good movie, guys? Anybody? Any takers on that?
I thought they did that. It was a YouTube video. It's hard to tell.
No. Let's see. So as that says, there's a Turok animated film is pretty good on YouTube for free.
Dude, Soul Assassin. I was just thinking about like Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I'm like, they made a couple of those. They were really fancy. I never owned an N64. Even though it's masquerading scalies, my freaking people. All I know is it looks really fun. And all I know is it's in a fictional universe. It's a piece of art. The guinea pig is adorable. But, I still have chicken too. But that's not related to the guinea pig. But, dude, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, I'm like, these are these things. It's like, okay, if you do it well, it's like, I tried to watch the beginning of the Halo thing. I'm like, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I'm not engaged. I'm not engaged with it. It's just it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's like, if you're going to try that, it's like, at least front load a little bit of something. It's like, and I would actually say the best actual transformations we have from a page of paper to the actual screen format, probably Magna. It's just like, you look at like anime from like Japanese comics and everything. It's like, Dragon Ball Z, now Dragon Ball Super. Do they do everything the same? No, but I'm like, okay, yeah, there's plenty of different animes. You got Naruto, you got Bleach and everything, which I'm still intimidated to start watching because it's already got like 1,000-something episodes. So behind.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim. You're a Dragon Ball fan. What do you think about that?
Man, I'll tell you what, the Dragon Ball Evolution movie was a mockery to all Dragon Ball Z fans all over the world.
Thing. It happened.
Yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if they could ever adapt it to film. Would I watch it? Yes. But like I feel like some of it just shouldn't be translated into film. It should just stay animated or just advance the technology like they did with Super. There's some advancements like with the Broly movie I saw in theaters.
Well, no, they're incorporating like higher end like rendering technology and anything. I think that's kind of cool. Again, you use it as you can. And if you're going to swap over to it, maybe not do it all at once. And I know they've done like some 4D or 3D films over in Japan and stuff similar like that, trying to gauge some of the audience reaction. Now, I didn't actually think about that till now. Some of the technology they use there, I actually watched about a year or so before because I'm looking for different things. And somebody has like some cam footage they're probably not supposed to have or anything. They upload it to YouTube. I'm like, well, it's YouTube. So I just go on, I watch some of that. I'm like, all right, this is cool and everything. They lightly sprinkle it in. And I think one of the big things is, this is why I think fans are the future. Because if you're going to try to do something completely outside the box and translate freaking a Japanese comic book from animation and then have utilize actual like human beings and characters and stuff, that's a much bigger jump from one to the other. Because one, yeah, you got sketched out. Two, you're sketching out, you're splicing some other things in there. That's a much bigger jump in quote unquote in physics. They'd say eigenstates. Basically, you're doing the same thing just in a different form. But the thing is, could you do it? Perhaps. For a big studio to try to do it off the bat, it's like, that's a risk. That's why I think it comes from the most passionate people that do have a certain set of talents. Because if you look actually on YouTube, like there's some fans that have redone some of the Dragon Ball stuff. It's pretty good. The best redones are Naruto battles. You're looking at some of these Naruto battles. They're doing the footage, and even like One Punch Man and stuff. You're looking at like a fan-rendered like 5-minute film of like Saitama fighting Genos and everything, and they literally did the side-by-side. Here's the actual anime. Here's what we did. You're looking, you're like, this is nearly identical frame for frame, and it's excellent.
Well, I was going to say, I think part of the reason that some of these things fail is because of these people that are getting involved in them and they don't know the franchises very well. They don't ask themselves the most important question before they get involved in them. Could we make it is not the most important question. Should we make it? And I think that's where a lot of people really need to stop before they move ahead with some of these projects.
Yeah, I agree with you on the fact is like, you want to hire people that are actually fans of the lore, that know the lore. Yes, adapt some things. Like, I think a good adaptation, I know it's not an anime, but Superman losing his underwear. I think in this day and age, the underwear just doesn't work. It's a nice callback, maybe if you want to have flashback, but to me, it looks silly. But like in Superman and Lois, they had a nice flashback scene, of an old costume. Looked great for that scene or whatever. Nice nostalgic thing for the older comic book generation, but you got to make some adaptations. But I think the biggest problem as far as that movie is that they didn't paint the world where it was in which it was believable for all this to exist. I think what the Marvel Cinematic Universe did well is they did that such thing. Like with Thor, they started on Asgard. They didn't really start with him on Earth or whatever. And even in Menace still, they start on Krypton. It painted that how they have a different way of thinking and all of that. So that's just, they didn't do that all with Dragon Ball Evolution. And like everything seems so smaller at scale. Like it didn't seem like it was a worldwide, like it didn't feel like it was like a worldwide was at stake. Like I didn't think it was worldwide. It seemed very like just city level. And I don't know, but that's it.
It really wasn't built up in the portrayals. It's like, okay, I'm down for a kind of a different Goku or stuff like that. It's like, that's fine. Okay, your Ozaru form isn't really even Ozaru. You just basically had him go Weir Monkey. There was basically no real growth to that. And your Piccolo isn't even green. What are you doing? I apologize for my race and speciesism here, but I'm looking at this. I'm like, no, that's not even a portrayal. If you're going to do this stuff, at least invest in some makeup budget. Like, what the heck are you doing? And that kind of goes into why, at least for me growing up, it's like my thing for movies, especially for video games, is not that high. Because it's like, all right, you had Mario. Again, it was a thing. It was a thing. Dragon Ball Evolution. It was a thing. It was a thing, and then it's like you get the Resident Evil movies, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's like, Jill, I find her attractive. I apologize, but all I'm saying, it's like, okay, yeah, you murk a bunch of zombies. Okay, pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do it well.
You got to do it well. The world building is everything, man. Especially like even Kim was talking about what they did with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is kind of like the opposite of what they did in DC, the whole Snyderverse. They should have spent time building it like they did the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because world building is everything. Introducing you to the characters, letting you fall in love with them individually, and having them have their own, their own feel, in their own world. That's what made the first Avengers to me feel right, with the exception of the Hulk. Because
well, you know what though, Steven? Even with the Incredible Hulk, that one with Norton, they played off of that, because at the very end scene they got him sitting there talking to Stark, who is Jesus, I can't think of the actor's name. Wow, Robert Downey Jr. It was Robert Downey Jr. in the end. So, I mean, they played off of that when they went into the Avengers. So they were paying attention back then to everything that was already in circulation, everything that they could possibly work with, and to make it make sense with all the other broader stories that were already told previously. So that was one of the things that they did right early on. And like you're saying, the world building, like showing all these other characters first before you put them in a big team. And I think that's really where they failed when it came to Justice League. And it was why I had no interest when the first one came out, and I had no interest when the Zack Snyder one came out either, because I didn't care. I just didn't care at that point.
I'm going to make a conjecture that I have conjectured before.
Go ahead.
One could call it either the Stark hypothesis or the Bale hypothesis, because it was like you were saying, it's like with the whole Avengers and basically the Marvel like multiverse and everything, it's like, how'd you start off? You start off with Iron Man. A lot of times, if you're going to try to do like the Justice League, you might think, okay, Captain America or something. But they went off with Iron Man, and Robert Downey Jr., he nailed it. It was a great role. He was able to continue on, whereas, like you said, you start introducing some of these different characters. I'd say the thing was with the Hulk, because they had tried to do Hulk. They did 2 Hulk movies, and then you kind of introduce the Hulk. You're like, which Hulk is this? Were they the same Hulk? Were these 2 different? Because that's the thing. They were playing around. They were trying different things. But as soon as it started getting coherent and you started linking it up, Tony Stark speaking to Bruce Banner and everything. Because, see, I'm pretty sure DC and Warner Brothers, they were going to do that, because how did they go through that? Well, you had the Batman trilogy. It's like, all right, you have the full Dark Knight trilogy. And it's like, all right, I personally thought that was a setup. It's like, okay, now, well, if you have the Justice League, it's like, all right, Avengers, Justice League, this makes sense. We have an established character. Let's bring in other characters throughout the universe. They had Superman, and then I think Christian Bale didn't want to spoil or play off the character, and he wanted to do other things. I
had no idea Christian Bale was even considered for that.
I don't know. This is just what I had heard. I heard like of course he was going to continue on for Batman, and then he's like, I don't really want to play out the character or just milk it too much, and that's why they went looking for casting, and then they got Ben Affleck, and it's like, Ben Affleck's a talented actor.
The Batfleck was good. I really enjoyed his version of Batman, and it was the Nolan.
He did a good job. Yeah.
Now, I mean, I would have definitely supported Bale playing a Batman in that universe, but it would have had to have been different than the Nolan universe. There's no way. The Nolan universe is great if you put it in a bubble on a shelf. It does not fit in the rest of the Batman universe, in my opinion. Did it? Good films. Second one was the best.
I think it would have been different with Christian Bale, and I know it would have been different. But just consider, what would the Marvel universe be without Robert Downey Jr.?
Right. Isn't that the truth? Because they basically took a B-list character and made him an A-list character. Iron Man, I've always liked Iron Man, but he was never one of my favorites. Right. Robert Downey Jr. made him one of my favorites. And it all comes down to the writing and the world building. Like Tim was saying earlier, world building, very important. And that's what made that character so endearing. It's a shame that the subsequent films didn't do all that well. But, I mean, I enjoy them for what they are. With the exception of, oh God, that third one was bad.
Which one?
Yeah, the Iron Man 3 was not good.
No.
They dropped the ball.
It's you tried. There was a lot of cool stuff, but I'm just like, it took too long. It felt like half the movie was like the Swamp of Sorrows from frickin' like Lord of the Rings. It's like, I understand you need to take us through this torturous time. You're trying to communicate something, but even in the movie, it went on for so long. And I remember some of my friends I played D&D with, they had like the Lord of the Rings book. And I remember I opened it up because I had heard about this swamp part. And I got to the part of the book where it's the swamp, and I started reading it. I'm like, oh, this is so dry. It keeps going on, and then I keep on flipping ahead more pages. More swamp. So it's nearly 60 pages of just swamp. I'm like, oh my God, does this mean the rumors I've heard were correct, that Tolkien literally wanted to torture his readers like Frodo and Sam were being tortured in the swamp?
Right. You know what it means? I understand the Swampasaur as a reference, but I disagree just slightly. I felt it was more like the bog of eternal stench from Labyrinth.
Stand corrected.
All right, Tim, any thoughts on this before we move forward?
Yeah, I agree. It just, I don't know whether they were trying to make it a Christmas movie. Did it come around that time with the kid? They're trying to make it all sentimental or whatever. But it was too long of him not actually being Iron Man, and it kind of drug out. It's kind of like in The Dark Knight Rises too. It gets kind of wonky, the passage of time as far as his back healing up. But even that kind of drug on or whatever. But obviously, I agree. The second one's the best. Batman Begins is a great start. I think. But yeah,
what I really didn't like was what they did with Ra's al Ghul. Like they took all the super, the elements out of it that I really enjoyed. And when you make him immortal, when you make him amortal, you kind of take a little bit of the.
Wait, he wasn't a mortal dude.
Well, I mean, he with the Lazarus pits, they don't even go into that. They don't go into.
Oh, that's why he was able to communicate kind of after. See, that was the part, because I didn't know the Bat history really that deeply or anything. I'd heard maybe some tangential thing. See, that's why I kind of view it the other way. The first movie, saying that story, I'm like, that's kind of cool. I didn't know about any of this history, so it kind of seemed to drag on for me. The second one, I'm like, oh my God, you're executing this in so many cylinders. The third one, I do hear you, Tim, how it kind of, there was a point where it kind of dragged on for a little bit, but all I know is that I am totally biased because I totally played Bane at PAX East 2013 back in the day. But at the same time, like the score for that movie, it more than made it up for me. And the way you ended it, you left it open. It's, is Alfred just seeing things? Is he alive? Is he having that happy ending? And see, I thought that's the point where they left it open for. It's like, all right, we're going to form a theme of superheroes. Whom might we try to reach out to, or who might reach out to other people? Because I think that happened in like the animated DC series.
Yeah, I think another point on this, I think Nolan was trying to do a more realistic approach. And in this third one, he didn't, miss opportunity to go into the Lazarus pit. But like, I know he didn't want to do the supernatural. But then again, how was Bane able to like punch through like cinder block or whatever? And also it's like, okay, make up your mind. And then like Batman kind of does it, but he gets a handspin.
Many like push-ups and Venom. Like, it's okay. Yeah. This is brought to us by our friend, the Guilt Man himself.
All right.
But, this is from Variety. Jim Carrey fairly serious about retiring from acting. I've had enough. I've done enough. And Jim Carrey fans might want to get their tickets now for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as it could be the last acting role of the iconic comedian's career. Speaking to Access Hollywood this week, Jim Carrey said he is planning to retire from acting following his reprisal of the villainous Robotnik in the upcoming Sonic sequel. How serious is Carrey about leaving acting behind? Fairly serious, he says. Well, I'm retiring. Yeah, probably. I'm being fairly serious, Carrey said. It depends if the Angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink and says to me that there's going to be really important for people to see. I might continue down that road, but I'm taking a break. So, you can go on if you want. Or
no, go ahead.
All right. Jerry said, I really like my life quiet. I really like my quiet life, and I've been putting paint on canvas, and I really love my spiritual life, and I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say in a long time exists. I've had enough. I've done enough. I am enough.
Oh, maybe he's ready to just move on to another part. I mean, like, I understand wanting to move into a more spiritual, and that takes a lot of time, especially if you're deeply connected to your spirituality. I mean, but he's a great talent, and I've enjoyed him since I was a kid. So, I mean,
he's impressed at least an entire generation or more. Because I mean, I remember like The Mask and everything like that. Ikai, like you're looking at some of these things. Ace Ventura, we're still using memes and stuff from like that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I don't care what anybody says. I like the cable guy.
Oh, I do.
I like the cable guy too. Yeah. Thank you, Kai. m.f.s is with us. What's up, Kai? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's shaking? I'm good, except for this is not fun to hear. What the hell, Jim Carrey?
I apologize.
He was gone for like, not gone, but he was kind of not really around. And then he comes back and starts making great stuff again. And he's like, I think I'm done. No. You just got back. Calm down. Calm down, Jim Carrey. Do a little more. You're making fun. You're bringing joy into people's lives. Like, people need happiness and smiles and joy. And that's what he provides. When I was a kid, I actually wanted to be an actor because I saw Ace Ventura. And I was like, so acting looks like fun.
Yes, dude, I'm the same way. This is see what I'm reading in between the lines here. He said it's like, okay, he would need a script, something that's written in gold ink. So Mr. Carey, what you're saying is if Sonic 3 and or Sonic and Knuckles is absolutely splendid, you're willing to reprise your role as Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
Well, you know what? Here's what I will say. Let's just say that he doesn't want to come back and he doesn't want to do any Sonic movies. I think it could actually still work out for the studio in one respect. Since they've been ultimately changing the way he looks, if he's going to take on the Eggman form and he's going to be the big round guy at the end in the next film, it would kind of make sense to have a different actor if he's moving away from it. And that could actually work for them if they get the right person in.
Mm-hmm. He becomes Dr. Eggman. That actually could be an opportunity. And this is the thing. He's been around for so long. I'm pretty sure he's done really well for himself. And it's one of those things. If you don't feel like dealing with the BS, don't. He's basically saying it's like, I'm going to take the work if I want to do it. I don't need to.
Yeah. I mean, that's how, what's his name from Home Alone is. He would still do movies. We just never watched them because he would only do movies he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I'd like it I'd hope he'd at least reprise his role as Robotnik. And then in the future, any new roles that he takes on are kind of one or, hit or miss, whether he feels like it or not. But I think that would be, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Has everyone seen this? Kai, did you see it?
Not yet.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it with a friend tomorrow.
All right. Well, I can't spoil it or whatever, but based on a certain way it ends, that's all I'll say.
He probably doesn't necessarily need to come back. Okay, we hear you.
Well,
easy feet. No. It's leave it off the scale. Leave it off the scale. That's good.
However it ends, there's like Robotnik is a staple of Sonic, and they could always bring him back one way or the other. You could figure it out.
Totally not a clone.
I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to dig into the movie at all. Excuse me, but but yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer to hear that he might retire from acting since he only really chooses. I mean, he only seems to be doing like fun roles, like Robotnik and stuff.
I hope he'd be back to that for a while. I think that took a lot out of him, man.
Robotnik?
Because I know when he was in Kick-Ass 2, because he played a very malevolent character. He did a lot of terrible things. And just based upon a lot of Jim Carrey's personality and the things I've heard him say throughout the years, and again, I don't know the man, but like after he did that role, I think that took a toll on him. He's like, wow, I portrayed a lot of violence on screen with a lot of folks that were fans of me. And even if he did it well, and I would say he did it well, he was still portraying a pretty horrific thing. So I think the whole I am a cartoony, like evilish doctor facing an imaginary hedgehog is a bit more lighthearted.
Anybody? Thank you very much to
Thomas.
Gilkey for sharing out this article. Do you want to cover any more of this?
I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Talk about happier things.
Well, no, we're not. We're actually going to delve into worse things.
Okay. Moving right along.
All right, let's.
What's worse than Jim Carrey retiring from acting?
Oh, what's worse? No. Let's see. Well, we're going to talk about Tom's favorite state, New Jersey. Let's see. Oh, if it comes up.
Water in Jersey makes the frogs gay.
New Jersey requires second graders to learn about gender identity in the fall, alarming parents. Sample New Jersey lesson plan says you might feel like you're a boy even if you have body parts that some might tell you are girls' parts. Any parents on the panel?
Here they go again with this nonsense. I mean, it's just like the same shit. And this is exactly why DeSantis passed that bill down here in Florida. Number one, to give parental rights. The parents are supposed to be notified, number one, what these teachers are teaching in school, number one. Number two, they shouldn't be teaching this kind of shit to kids that are in kindergarten, even up to third or maybe even fourth grade. Do they really need to know this shit? Why can't they just let kids be kids anymore? They feel like they've got to espouse these agenda-driven politics on kids. Why? So they could try to turn them Democrat early or something? I really don't understand what the messages they're trying to push with this shit. It really is ridiculous. You know what? If you really feel like that, you are going to find people and you're going to talk to people about it. People have been doing it for a long time, and nobody really had a problem with it when they went to seek help.
It depends on the culture.
To speak to people that understood about it. But now it's like we feel this need to push this on your kids. And coming from Jersey, this is no big surprise to me. It's one of the reasons that I wanted to move away from the Northeast. I can't stand the tri-state area. And Jersey is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to leave. I couldn't stand that state. I still hate it. I hope one day it's going to slide right off the continental shelf into the freaking ocean.
Speaking of the Northeast, Vinnieart. What's up, Vinny? Good to see you, brother.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
I hear you talking about Jersey. Fuck Jersey.
What's happening, man?
What's up,
Speak of
fellas?
the devil and he shall appear.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for you to show up before I started this article, and the moment I brought it up, there you were.
Oh, excellent, man.
Yeah, brother. So any feelings on this? Are you familiar with the story?
The frogs are gay.
All right. Tommy, like you were saying, like the people have confronted these issues before in past, and depending on the culture, it was either acceptable or not acceptable.
This is more that Ron Perlman shit, huh?
Well, it's I don't think it should be. This is something that should be taught to children. Like I said, I think it's something that you grow into, and you discover on your own. You know, these are topics that I think you discover as you enter maturity. I think that kids should be allowed to be kids, man. This is.
I think it's funny the advert on the side is Beyond Sausage.
That's fine.
Should I play? Should I play what I found? I played it on my stream yesterday.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to share it, go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna.
No problem. I'm gonna go through a little bit of
The
this.
problem with groomers is that they don't like the full-size sausages. They like the little ones.
Yeah. Well, this happened in in Australia. This thing. I'm gonna play it off my phone. Let me know if you could hear it.
Okay.
This is
You should see them at parties. You're like,
oh, get ready, because we know Australia is like it's one of the first places that fell. Yeah. Oh, it gets better.
All right.
It is a note from a constituent who says, "Hi, Bernie. This is a worksheet that my 10-year-old daughter brought home from school, and it includes a photo of the worksheet. Part of her homework was to discuss with her father his erections and ejaculation. I find this very disturbing and sickening, as indeed do I have to say. I have complained to the school and was told it was just part of the curriculum. Can you advise who else I should make a complaint to?" Well, I could go on for days who she could complain to. "My daughter still plays with dolls and writes letters to the tooth fairy. There is no way any little girl should be told to ask these questions." Well, so say all of us. What the hell is going on in this state when 10-year-old girls are told to go home and talk to your father about his erections and about his ejaculations? What the hell is going on here?
Exactly. What the hell is going on here? This is absolutely disgusting, bizarre, strange on every level, and we're seeing it all over our schools in the United States as well. Why? Why are they trying to do this to children?
I know why.
Yes.
Last night, I had about a 6-hour stream talking about Sasquatch and the Nephilim and a third of angels revolted against God and all that stuff. And 1/3 of angels revolted against God. What's Biden's approval rating? About 33%. That's some bad motherfuckers right there.
This is absolutely insane, disgusting, and insane. So people need to step up because this is ridiculous.
Now, number one, did you just imply that Biden is God? And number two, like this, I don't know about you all. I remember we did sex ed in the 6th grade. Before sex ed, they sent no permission slips to your parent or guardian to give consent to go over things that may be viewed as controversial. And even if you didn't think it was controversial, it's like, all right, we're going to give some notice and everything. So like there's permission slips and stuff, right? Or if there aren't, that kind of sounds like it's like, well, okay.
I got permission slips, but memes, I think you may have done some bad math there. I said 1/3 of angels revolted against God, and Biden has 1/3 approval rating.
Oh, the inverse. Okay.
We need Steiner math here.
Math is hard. Math is well. See, my big. Here's the thing. I'm going to share a personal story. When I was a much younger memes, probably around 7 years old, I went to a summer camp. And at one point, one of the boys at that camp was like, "You're a girl." At that point, I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then I dropped trow and it showed that I was not a girl.
The proof.
Apparently, those receipts don't necessarily occur in all instances and everything. And that's why when you're going to have the conversation about what quote unquote is a woman, and this is a very interesting thing. And then when you actually think about it, you sit back and it's like, folks, we have very often built-in intuitions. It's like, all right, well, this is this, or this is this in this case. Why? Because this is what we've been exposed to. This is what we have. And then you go through and you look at modern technology and everything. See, my big thing here is, okay, I understand what they're trying to do. And again, I'm going to say a lot of controversial things with folks here that a lot of people are going to disagree with, and that's perfectly fine. And even I'm going to piss off a lot of progressives right now with the things that are going to come out of my mouth. But I think this is important because what I'm seeing here is if somebody does happen to have a particularity, Stephen was saying a lot of times people will reach out, people will find folks to talk about that. I don't think that always happens because a lot of different stigma or everything. And again, I apologize to my folks within the gay community, even though I've been doing the gaydom menace and everything and trying to meme normalize that in an uplifting and entertaining fashion. The thing is, it's like, okay, a lot of folks didn't talk about that for years because they felt very uncomfortable. They felt like they were going to be stigmatized. And even if there are folks out there, if the general feel in society you're getting, it's like, this is not okay. A lot of folks might not necessarily do that. And if you're going to get up to the point where you're talking about different folks and interscholastic activities, perhaps different physical activities as well, I'll give you a story. When I wrestled back in grade school, I talked with some coaches. We had some gals on our team and everything. And those gals kicked butt, man. They did really well. But one of the coaches at one point, I remember in the locker room, and again, take the story for what it's worth. They said, it's like, oh, yeah, no, the girls keep right up there with the guys in middle school and stuff. It's like, once you get to high school and stuff, the dudes end up pulling away. So if I'm going to take this as some form of an observation from somebody that's been a wrestling coach for a while, what might this be? What ends up happening? Well, if you're going to go through different puberty, depending on the hormones and stuff you have in your body and everything, you're going to develop differently. And if somebody happens to have, let's say, a form of a privilege because they happen to go through that, is that necessarily fair? I don't know. Maybe just gendered sports are just sexist in and of themselves because by definition, they are.
But
I said a lot of words there. I understand. I went to a lot of places.
What I heard is Walton should be joining a female swim team.
No, what?
I tell you what, I know for a fact that Walton is in the trees because I am a botanist.
Oh, my dear Lord. Let's see. Wookiee's premise, he says, how about we just make it easy? Don't talk about sex with children. Is that too difficult? Well, I think parents should.
That's exactly what the bill was. Mm-hmm. That's what that bill was.
It's about parental consent.
The gay bill. The DeSantis bill was not called the gay bill or anything like that. It had nothing to do with a gay, straight, or any of that. It was the schools will not be teaching sexual content to children, period. That's what it was, from kindergarten to third grade. That's what that bill was about.
Right. And once again, the biggest part of that bill, of course, being parental rights. Because matter of fact, I think the bill is actually called the Parental Rights Bill.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's a perfectly apt name for it, I think. So, Small Time Republic says, sounds like memes was at Sleepaway Camp.
I forget the name.
It means if you were at Sleepaway Camp, I'm so sorry for what you had to see. And you know what? You were talking about a younger memes. I would love to see those Crayola memes that you did back then.
I drew mostly monsters.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just saying this form more appropriately probably represents what was in my mind.
Science fiction monsters all the time, man.
Brightest Day says, can we change the definition to be you're the woman if you're the bottom? Red Gaze might co-sign to that. I don't know where he's at right now, but his philosophy kind of goes with
what
that.
about when you're tired and you lay back and let her climb on top? Are you now the woman just because you need a break?
Kai, you're saying some days you haven't been like, man, I feel like a woman. So
Kai, are those the same days that you wind up, I don't know, vacuuming around the house, doing all the dishes? Is those the same days that you might be a woman?
If you're doing all the things, if you're wearing a dress and laying down and letting her hop on top, well then now you're into some murky waters.
Yeah.
Hey, what? No, what if you're a Scotsman?
You're what?
You're a Scot. Oh my God! I apologize to my friends in the Scottish community. I just conflated a kilt with a dress. I'm going to hell.
Well, Brightest Day said, fair's got to be fair. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kai.
Oh no, I was confused, and then I realized it meant the kilt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Kilts are different. Those are manly dresses.
Yes, those are absolutely yes.
It's plaid.
Well, obviously you were confused, Kai, because you thought being on the bottom when the woman's on top makes you the woman.
No, someone said
we're gonna have to get you help.
Someone said about the being on the bottom makes you a woman.
Nobody would ever get confused on the internet.
No.
Yeah, the internet's not confusing at all. Real life is confusing. You're trying to teach your kids that they're the opposite of what they are.
Twitter is facts.
New Jersey Public Schools second graders will be getting lessons related to gender identity this fall under a state sex education guidelines that will take effect in September. The standards listed perform expectations for second graders will include discussing the range of ways people express their gender and how gender role stereotypes may limit behavior. Educators in the Garden State are preparing to carry out the teacher standards, which were established in 2020, but not required to be enacted until September 2022.
And why do they still call themselves a Garden State? Oh yeah, because they're grooming.
That's a very serious allegation.
One school district in the state to stir.
Ron Perlman, he must be from New Jersey.
Distributed
Ron Perlman, that's a sticky situation.
Distributed sample lessons plans indicating first graders could be taught to have.
Ron Perlman walks into a preschool and goes, "What's up, you gashes?"
Stephen, I admire your persistence.
I tried. These assholes. I can't.
You wanted me on.
I did. I can't help it. The lesson plans, which were given to parents in the Westfield Board of Education's February 22nd meeting, appear to be reflective of the Garden State's new, broader sex education curriculum. One lesson plan, purple, pink, and blue, instructs teachers to talk to their first graders about gender identity. And its first objective is the students to be able to define gender identity, and gender role stereotypes. Why in the hell does this need to be taught to a first grader?
Show us on the doll where Ron Perlman touched you.
Oh, my Lord.
Did you hear the new teacher curriculum is being passed out by TikTok?
Oh, is it?
Going to hell.
Yeah, China. Good God. Is that okay? I mean, is there any devil's advocate here that could give me any explanation as to why this would be taught? Anything?
There's a devil's advocate over here. I'm leaving the stream.
Because I can't think of any good reason. There is no good reason.
Here's why. This is brought to us by NPR.org. June 15th, 2020, Supreme Court delivers major victory to LGBTQ employees. This was the ruling that basically affirmed gender identity. So, I mean, as far as I understand it, it's law. Because in the article, it said this went in under like halfway through 2020. I'm pretty sure we had a different president then, so it was already in the cards, and now it's going into effect.
Wow. I didn't even know that that was a thing.
Well, it's you probably kind of heard something about it, but unless you actually went into it and knew like the causal connection, I'm pretty sure this is why. Because I mean, this is why like the Supreme Court
I'm pretty sure whatever that this bill contains, it doesn't pertain to forcing gender identity on people and forcing on children. I'm sure it has something to do with being discriminated against because you're gay or whatever. I'm pretty sure that that's what the bill entails.
I just based upon what I'm seeing, and I am not an attorney. That was my father, Mr. Memes. Updated 5:22 p.m. of that day. A historic decision. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday that the 1964 Civil Rights Act protects gay, lesbian, and transgender employees from non-discrimination based upon sex. I am assuming, again, I am not an attorney, that basically if you have those protections, and if you're talking about a school that receives government funding and stuff, if this is what the Department of Education is doing, it's like this is why you have PTA meetings and stuff like that. This is why you have the parents involved and stuff. If parents got a problem with this, you stand up, you say something about it, because this is one of the things that I've noticed. And I'm going to jump off on a slight bit of a tangent that's, again, a lot of folks will disagree with, but that whole CRT training, it's like critical race theory. It's like, if you actually look into some of that, because one of my friends, she was doing stuff like with her philosophy or social programs or something class. One of the things was read Professor Kendi's like essay or something like that. I think it was like 60 to 100 pages. Like we didn't want to read that, so we listened to like a 50-minute video where he was being interviewed about basically his stuff. One of the very first things he says there, just within a few minutes of people's heaping some praise, because he's also a very handsome man, but you're looking at this, he's like, okay, one of the things you need to do before you're going to have a discussion about something that's controversial, it's like you need to agree on definitions. If you don't agree on what the definition of racism is, it's like, how are you going to have a discussion? I hear that, and just that moment, I'm like, I don't see anybody doing that. I just hear folks kind of just arguing past each other. We never even got to that point to even attempt to have that discussion, and you take that, and it's like, all right, I hear that, and with CRT things, it's like, okay, are there issues? Because I had a friend. He literally did a series about how to combat critical race theory and stuff. And he was part of the greater skeptic community. And he went on. He was doing the series teaching people how to fight back against it. At one point, they had CRT at his company. They were on basically a voice call and everything. The person shows up to do the training. And one of the first things I believe she said was, so y'all are racist. And my buddy, this is what he told me. This is what he told me according to him. And like, he was so shocked. I'm like, well, you said something, because he's like, I didn't say a damn thing. He's like, I totally just like be the heck out there. I just cucked out right there. I didn't say a damn thing. It's like, I'm comfortable in my job. I did not want to speak up. And I sit back and I'm like, all right, this is a dude that's basically doing a series about how to fight back or push back against this. And you had a situation, because don't get me wrong, no one group or community has a monopoly on assholes. I stand by that. And all I know is, I'm like, all right, if all of a sudden somebody just goes to the train and be like, y'all are racist, I'm like, wait. What? What? Because I was going to say, if you're going to reach out, that would probably be the time to reach out and be like, I am offended at what this person is saying to me. What the heck is right? HR, you hired this person, whereas you have other folks essentially trying to say the same things. Shout out to Chloe Valdery and the theory of enchantment, where it's like, okay, yeah, we're all different. We all have different situations. We all have different backgrounds and everything. Why don't we try to learn from one another, have some conversations if we need to have them and everything, and maybe not start off with saying that another person's evil.
Well, it's like trying to shock people into listening, like, I mean, but that's great confrontation from the rip. You're not able to listen. Once you enter a conversation like that, being confrontational, you're not going to be able to.
Isn't that what it's all about for them? I mean, like, seriously, that's all they do. It's all about the shock value of things.
I think most of that's Twitter.
Well, it's not just Twitter. I mean, if you've seen these people, they're not just all on Twitter. Although that's where they like to congregate, I guess. Like literally, they're on the news. They're in these other places. They're on these other platforms, and they're doing the same shit. Like that idiot Ron Perlman, same deal. He starts off like he's going to be in a calm manner, and then 2 seconds in, just to get the attention, bam, go fuck yourself, blah blah blah, all this horrible shit. And again, it just shows the ignorance of that side, because they didn't read the bill. They're literally sitting there with bullet points of how they should be attacking any politician, anybody who is conservative or right leaning on any level or any agenda. It's not about a conversation. It's about the brainwashing of people, and they show this time and time again because they're doing it through entertainment. Because entertainment, that's like the way that it was a long time ago. They look at people with money, people in power, who's worshipped right now, and the celebrity right now, especially in America, well, has been for a while, is a celebrity. Look back in the day, like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, they used to actually take celebrities and bring them to certain locations in the United States. And they had like a big parade. They do this whole thing for them just to show their new movie or whatever it is. It's because they wanted to cement the fact that celebrity is going to be your new god. You have to listen to them. Whenever they say something, you need to follow them. And they think that power is still there. It's why the media does what they do as well.
I mean, we saw a lot.
Well, part of that started in the 80s too. I mean, when Reagan got into office, the first thing that everybody said that were older, can you believe it? An actor is in the White House. It was a shock to a lot of people back then. Now, if it was to happen again and again and again, nobody would even bat an eyelash.
Pop culture precedes politics. I mean, that's something I've heard for a long time there.
Something
Go on.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's like, okay, there are individuals that totally do stuff like that. Because here's the thing, and this is why I hang out with a lot of different folks from all these different communities and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong. If you go farther enough and talk to enough people, whether it's left or right, I've literally had folks basically saying it's like the people I disagree with, I would like to see, quote unquote, basically ended. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty, because there are folks that say that. And there are folks, and I have heard, it's like, well, I just really hate those people. And it's like, oh, there are people that would like to see bad things happen. And I think what was kind of getting away from Vinny, it's like, it's unfortunate it gets to that point. It's like, are you trying to fight on a principle, or are you just trying to, quote unquote, win by assembling your talking points and then just standing there and firing mimetic, conversation, zinger here, there? That does happen on different sides as well.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with somebody like what that asshole did, because it wasn't just DeSantis he went after. He went after 4 or 5 different politicians, all right, linear conservative, and he did it in just a disgusting manner. Because it wasn't about opening up a dialogue. It was just you're wrong. And then putting the fake things and the lies on top of it, right? Because that's what it was. They try to make it look like the media, corporate paid for media, was the same shit. I saw what's his name on ABC, George Snuffleupagus. He's sitting there calling it the gay bill as well. That's not what it's called. And he's a reporter. He knows better. He did it on purpose because that's the agenda that's pushed.
Did he say quote unquote?
He didn't say quote unquote. No, he didn't say quote unquote. He said literally, DeSantis' gay bill. This is what was reported and blah blah blah. That's how they said it. And I was like, and I heard it in passing. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is straight up bullshit. It's propaganda. You
were trying to say something earlier. Go ahead, brother.
Those companies should be essentially any media, any news company that misreports like that should be held to serious repercussions. But I've been saying, like you said, that, oh man, there's an actor in the White House. Can you believe it? I've been saying for a while now that I think we need game designers in the White House. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a game designer.
I'd vote for you.
Game designers are about balancing the system. We create systems, and we need to balance it for everyone to have a fair and enjoyable playing experience. You need to balance economies. You need to balance powers. You need to balance everything. And a game designer would be looking at from the top down at things and go, this is unsustainable. This is unbalanced. This isn't fair to these people. And then their solutions wouldn't be along the same legal metrics that people usually come up with when they're in government, because they all generally are all lawyers. It would be from a power balance perspective. And I think that would really help a lot. Do
you think that's the problem? Because again,
it's part of it.
My father was a lawyer, but even he at one point, not all that long ago, said, there are too many lawyers out there. And I'm just like, if you think about supplying it, because one of the big things back in the day was if there was a case and it was kind of BS, it's like, well, there are only so many lawyers. Well, you're not going to take the case. But if you have, just from an economic perspective, more lawyers than there is maybe, quote unquote, more respectable work or whatever. Somebody files just a random BS claim and it's like, all right, $50. It's like, oh, maybe I can get my name in the news. Oh, maybe I can make some money because this person's going to pay me for taking this BS lawsuit or something, quote unquote. And again, I'm not an attorney, but I look at this, I'm like, I think a lot of this comes down to, like, we've mucked the system up so much. You look at some of these, why are some of these laws still on the books? I'm like, aren't we arguing about this? Like, couldn't we just solve this by like going back and like, all right, this is kind of BS. Let's remove this. Is it just because we don't get the credit and the headlines of being like, we passed this wonderful new bill that's going to help these people, but might have all these unintended consequences?
Well, you know, it means you're definitely right. There are like a lot of these lawyers now that they're just out there just to stir shit, basically. And you've seen that just recently, like trying to make headlines, just trying to make big news, and you know, just to cause trouble, like the one that they have with Burger King right now, where all those people are suing Burger King because their ads don't look like the actual product. Well, guess what? Ding, ding, ding. They're not meant to. No. They're meant to entice you. Anybody who's got any brain inside their head knows that those ads are not meant to be factual. They're meant to try to get you interested in the product. And it kind of leads into the same thing you're saying, that these people are just ready to kind of sue over anything, and they're just looking for any fight because you got so many damn lawyers out there for so many different problems that really are not even problems to begin with.
Some of those burgers, though, I'm just saying, some of the cosmetic changes that are done. I watched one of the things for, I think, the McDonald's thing. They literally cut a piece out, they widen it, they paint on all this and everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm like, I understand. It says in the small little print, this is not the actual thing or anything, but they make those dang burgers look good. And even my mom, who's basically like a hippie's like, well, if you're showing me this, I want that.
Mm-hmm. Where's the beef?
Exactly.
Wookiee's purpose says left and right, red and blue is only for us. It's to keep us fighting and divided while giving us the freedom, the illusion of freedom. They're all on the same team in DC.
A lot of BS.
Yeah. Well, again, we know it that big tech attached with government and entertainment is trying to do a lot of damage to the world right now. Again, Ron Perlman, he walks to a boys and girls club and goes, "Want some candy, you stupid gashes."
I like candy.
I keep making that stupid.
Now I'm gonna have to disagree and push. I got to push back on the. I don't think they're trying to do that. I think one of the things, especially here in the United States, it's just, I think people are trying to do the best with what they know about, what they're familiar with. And to be fair, I've had behind the scenes correspondence with Team YouTube about some things. It's like, it's like, what do you think we could do to make things better? And I'm like, you're the largest video distribution platform on the planet and stuff. You're literally the new television. Good luck. But it's like, okay, if somebody has an issue with a video, just a more streamlined, up-to-date knowing what's going on with their channel. Basically, let folks know if you're in the process, let's know what stage of the process. Give us a little bit more information, the best you can. Right. I think they're trying. Are there going to be mistakes that are made? Sure. The problem is when you highlight every single little mistake and you make it kind of out to, not all, but when you make little mistakes out to be huge mistakes, when the huge mistakes are made, the people that might actually be responsible for it may not listen as much because they're like, well, you complain about everything.
Well, the thing with YouTube, I'd say it's horseshit. They're definitely part of the big tech problem of what's been going on. They censor all of us. We don't have freedom of speech. Anything that we said about certain topics is deemed disinformation. When, again, about a week later or a month later, you find out, oh, it's actual fact. Well, how come strikes aren't removed? How come people's channels are still taken down and not given back? See, there's a big problem going on, a very big problem.
Were these, and again, I feel like if somebody said was true, it's like, well, yeah, you need to help people out for that. But now at the time, it's like, how were these things asserted? Were they asserted as in our opinion or according to some sources, which again, at least according to, I think, what was it, the Rachel Maddow lawsuit or something, as long as you're giving an opinion, you're saying according to this person or within this context or in my opinion, or it has been asserted, rather than this is the fact, this is exactly how it is.
Well, that's it. With how we speak and what we do on these streams, it's been taken in multiple different ways. What?
No, I'm saying is like, do we need to be lawyers? Do you need to be like a lawyer to be a YouTuber, or is like, or in like Congress or something like that? Because we got all these lawyers. As you're looking at the law, it's like, does a reasonably prudent person understand these things? Because apparently we've gone away from common law, which was surprising to me.
Well, again, the nonsense that they put out there, and again, we're not allowed to speak. Period. You could have the facts. You could have facts, or you could be just like, oh, I heard this from somewhere. Take it with a grain of salt, or
right.
Whatever you want to say. Fill in the blank. As long as you just say certain keywords, they could just remove your channel. Period. You can't fight it. You can't do anything about it. That's happened to multiple people. Or if they felt like going after them, they'll do that. That's where the problem is. So I don't think they're on our side on any level. Not at all.
So moving on into the next topic, kind of goes along with this. I wanted to ask Tim, do you have any idea what's going on with a lot of the anti-Disney news that's going on right now? Are you on the up and up with it?
Not really. I heard something a while back about people, or I don't know, Mickey Mouse and all them. They weren't allowed to hug, and people like they're introducing that. I don't know if that's related to this, but I don't know anything about this grooming thing.
Okay, that's fine. You shouldn't. No one should. No, it shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't even be an idea. Kai, how about you? Do you have any thoughts on this before we go into the article? Are you on? Do you know what's going on?
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be fun to see Disney lose all their special privileges, because essentially their special privileges are why they can get away with some of these things that they've been getting away with, that even if it's not, I mean, like, these things aren't necessarily happening at the high-end corporate level. It seems like it's more kind of throughout it's a more ground level thing. Like I mentioned to my mom, oh, hey mom, did you hear that there was a sting at Disney World and they found like 60 plus or 100 or something employees that were like in on this trafficking thing? She says, not surprising. Of course, that's where they go, to where all the kids are.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
it's sick. It's sick that it makes sense to be that it's sick. You know what I mean? It's awful. Tommy,
I would say that it most definitely does start at the corporate level. This is the high end people, because all this shit filters down. It's like anything else. You can go back to Reagan economics; it all trickles down. They're pissing on all the employees below them. But this kind of shit starts at the top, because if it doesn't, why are they not putting a curtail to it? They're allowing this shit to kind of continue and to fester in their corporation and throughout all their different branches. They're allowing it to happen, just like all the. If you want to talk about the agenda-driven nonsense, you want to talk their stance fighting against Florida bills. I mean, this is a company that was given a whole lot of extra rights that they should have never had in the first place. And they're basically telling the state of Florida, we're going to do what we want. You are still, regardless of your individualism, as considering yourself almost like a separate entity within the state, you were still part of the state. Hence, you were still bound by the same damn rules.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
No, you're right about that. I kind of meant to kind of to be more explicit about, like, that it's not like the people at the top are going, hey, start a trafficking thing, but they are being permissive of it.
Exactly, and that's my point. They know what's going on to some level, and if they don't, they shouldn't be in that position to begin with.
Yeah.
Vinny, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, this whole thing is disgusting. From the bus that they had, 108 people arrested, 4 or 5 employees that worked at Disney World, a retired judge, and then you have these other people they want to fight against this anti-grooming bill. There's so much weird shit happening right now. Just leave the kids alone. Stop doing this crap. I do hope, like Kai was saying, yeah, they should get all their privileges removed. That way they have to pay even more taxes through the nose. There's other stipulations that they're getting away with murder, essentially. And that's just...
Well, let's go through this a little bit for people in the audience who may not know what's going on, and for Tim, because Tim is blissfully unaware, and you might just want to be. Despite Disney's corporate leadership cowing to the BTQ lobby within their company, there are many voices at the House of the Mouse that are in support of the very law the corporation is actively fighting against. Don't stop. Progressive employees at the Walt Disney Company have used their positions to turn Disney into their shield and sword against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida. Disney executives have come out of the woodwork to oppose a bill.
Who the hell is Rob DeSantis? Is that like his brother or something?
I
Like,
guess.
is there like a stand-in? Is this like that movie Dave? What's going on here?
I should have just said DeSantis. I don't know, Tom. You tell me.
What it is it's disrespect. They're getting his name wrong.
Yes.
That's disrespect. They did it on purpose.
Disney executives have come out of the woodwork to oppose a bill that prevents the teaching of sexuality and transgenderism to children between kindergarten to third grade. Many of them have used the issue to highlight their and push their own highlight their own push to target young children with LGBTQ messaging within the company. I mean, it's Gina Davis Institute, y'all. When it seems like everyone in Disney is tripling down on left-wing politics, many of their own employees are forced to display their displeasure of Disney's decision in secret in fear of retaliation. Earlier this week, messages were leaked by cast member and Human Events Daily's Jack I can't say that name.
Prosibniak.
Yeah. And from internal communication boards showing that many Disney employees are in favor of the bill and don't agree with the company's loud position toward it. He said, just had cast member Disney leak me a ton of screenshots from the internal staff message boards of Disney employees arguing in support of the Florida bill. We'll post once we sanitize them to protect anonymity. And here's oh God, it doesn't come up. Open another bill, but like let children be children, which is basically what I think all of us are saying. Let children be children. Most everyone is very ignorant as to the way the actual wording of what the bill says and who it applies to. It doesn't apply to gay or trans. It applies to our education system. I mean, that's basically it, right, Vinny? That's it.
Say again. Sorry.
So let children be children. Most everyone is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because what happens is it was when you mention things, it's going to get stuck in their head anyway. That thing I played for you before. All right, that father who he sent that letter to the congressman. Again, she's 10 years old. She believes in the tooth fairy and all this stuff. And now you have teachers in school telling them to go home and talk to their fathers about their erections and all this other weird shit. Now, you don't think this girl is going to be like, what the hell is that? What's an erection? Or look it up herself?
It was Australia. That was something that was going on in Australia.
Right.
You can't conflate the two. I mean, it might be within the same, quote unquote, woke stuff and things here. And I just...
No, time out. No, they're not separate matters whatsoever. What this is because in the schools that's happening right now as well, you literally have like Pete Buttigieg telling people and all the kids in schools that they have to pray to the pride flag, pledge allegiance to the pride flag. They're pushing. Hold on. What else happened is that they had books that had graphic sexual material in it that they were giving to first and second graders, talking about and showing drawings of blowjobs, children giving blowjobs to adults. Now, how is that separate? I don't think it is. This is sick what these people are doing.
Number one, don't harm children.
Exactly.
Number two, it's again, we kind of going up some of this? I mean, that I hadn't heard that story. And if you're literally like distributing pornography and stuff to minors and stuff like that, at that point, it's like, okay, there were parental slips and stuff like that. I don't know. We did it in like the 6th grade, like towards the end of the year. This is the thing. You got to be careful.
No, this hit the news. They had these illustrations of those sexual acts, and parents said, "What is this shit?" And then they had for young readers novels talking about teenage girls doing graphic sexual things as well. That the parents were reading it at the committees, and the people in charge are going, "Oh, stop reading that. This is vulgar." And the parents are going, "Excuse me,
this is the curriculum. This is your curriculum." No. Here's the thing. That sounds like a major freaking issue there. And again, I am very naive to that. Sounds like a lot of major BS right there. Now, I think one of the issues that we run into is we hear truly outrageous things like that sounds like right there, and then you have something like this where when you get into like the things of the bill itself, it's like we're hearing about Disney employees speaking out. That's if you have
That's
an
a good
issue with
thing.
something, yes, you want to speak out. Should it be highlighted that there are people that object to different things? Yes.
Yes.
But I think we're taking some of the mimetic resonance from, oh no, you don't freaking like harm our children, stuff like that, to applying it to something like this where it's like, okay, what are some of the folks at Disney saying? It's like, all right, they were supporting politicians that happen to support this. Now, some employees are trying to leverage their particular persuasion and view on things to be like, okay, we no longer want you supporting the people that support this. See, I thought that's the whole thing was about. I thought this was a bounding into comics bill. So I think they misspelled them.
It may be, but you know, one of the things I've discussed with a couple other people is it's almost on that wavelength, because you do have employees in there that don't agree with this rhetoric, and a lot of people are like down with Disney, and I get that Tommy plenty of times, and I've said it quite a few times, down with Disney. But you have to think about all of the employees that are there, the diverse range of employees, the people that count on that, the people's family members that work there. I think that it's more. I think it would be better to restructure correct than it would be to destroy an entire company. I mean, especially one that employs so many people.
A lot of people lost their jobs, and maybe they're just getting back to work. I mean, the pandemic, what Disney laid off like 30 to maybe 50,000 employees from the parks and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Kai, what do you think?
I was just gonna say, Walton.
Go ahead,
It's messed up that they did this. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit going on, but yeah, there's also good people and proper families and people who want to take care of their families working at these places. So, yeah, whoever is in charge of doing these things, clean it up.
Yeah, Kai, what do you think about this situation, sir?
The whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. No, with the employees, the employees that work there that may feel differently. Like, I mean, do you think that it's better for this company to change the way that they are approaching, to get rid of this, to get rid of such division? And do you think that? Oh God.
Oh yeah, they need to get rid of a lot of people that essentially they should have filters in their interview process to get rid of some of these people, and everyone should do an evaluation. Like every once in a while, you give employees an evaluation, and when you do that, it should be another mini interview throw that filter in there, and like, okay, this person answered these questions wrong, they're fired. Like that's it, they're done. The new regulations in the company say if you support these kinds of things, then like your intention is to harm children, and our intention is to give children a safe place to be and have fun. So you need to get out. If anything, they should work with the police department and report those people to them and start like actually being, like you said, Tommy said about that, how they're being permissive. The people in the administrative levels are being permissive. If they were not being permissive, they would be coming down on this shit like a hawk. If Disney were around, if Walt Disney were around, for whatever he may have thought about the Jewish people, he would not have put up with this crap.
Tim, how important do you think it is for employees to be able to speak their mind when you have a company that's trying to pressure a state into not only into changing a law?
It's a scary time. Like back to that, like racism. Someone calling you racist. That's a hard situation. Yeah, you don't want to lose your job, but you shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be like Hitler-ish. Not like, it shouldn't be that deep or hostile. It's America. You should be able to express your opinion, and it shouldn't be just one way. And yeah, it's hostile.
I have a quick.
That's all I have to say.
With the law changing, Disney's done that plenty. It's just that this is a law that hurts people, or that this is a law meant to help people, but their intention is to hurt people.
I think they're going the politically what they feel is in line with their companies. Because if Disney's going to promote an inclusive thing, and this is my thing, it's like I think a lot more folks should actually read it. I haven't read the bill and stuff, so I'm speaking completely naively on this. I just hear what other folks are saying here, and I think far too often we're conflating. It's like, okay, you had a sting, And all of a sudden, you found a lot of folks out and around Disney doing some things that sound like there was a former retired judge involved. That sounds like a whole lot of BS. And I put in the chat that corporations are people. Now, my dad always said it's like a corporation is a person when it can be put in jail. I think what would change a lot of this, and again, I might trigger a lot of folks with this, corporations are people. Well, what happens if a person was to be convicted of this? Might there be certain things within the great state of Florida that apply? I don't know. Do they have capital punishment? I'm just saying that I think a lot of faith would be restored in the system if we brought capital punishment to white collar crime as well. And if you happen, again, this is my opinion here, if we happened to have folks that, let's say, executive management or a member of the board of directors, the first time folks see a member of the board of directors of a Fortune 500 company being potentially executed, I think a lot of this would clean up. That was a very hot take. I apologize. No, I won't apologize.
Dig that. Someone who has read the bill and been keeping on the up and up at this is Vinny. Vinny, would you mind explaining this?
The DeSantis?
Explain this.
Again, it's very simple. They want to give parental power back to the families. They don't want schools to be teaching their children about sex. It's very simple. From kindergarten to third grade, it shouldn't be anything about that. Not sexuality whatsoever. Not gay, straight. It should be about the schoolwork, arithmetic, reading, writing. That's what it's supposed to be about. And this bill's supposed to be protecting children against these quote unquote predators who want to just talk about it all the time in these classrooms, in these schools. There shouldn't be a pride flag that kids pledge allegiance to. Sorry, we're in America. This is a whole different situation what they're trying to do. They want to push sexuality on children at early ages. The question is why?
Vinny, would you almost say it's almost like brainwashing with the way they're doing it?
Oh, I would say so.
So we're arguing parental consent.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Here's the thing, and all the other schools and everything, and what our health administrator there, the guy who thinks he's a woman that Biden put in. So
the admiral.
Yeah, admiral. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
the one that got
according to the law.
Award. Well, that person. Well, they passed that. They were trying to pass these laws. I think it happened where the guidance counselors could give hormone pills to children who are confused or they want to change their genders. Which bypasses the parents.
You're giving drugs to children?
Well, not only that, but it goes against most of the laws that they already have established in most schools. And I'm going to give you for example. My daughter has really bad asthma. So when she was going to school, she couldn't even take her asthma medication with her because it was not permissible for her to carry in school. The only way that she could get it is she had a doctor note sent to the school, and the school actually held on to her emergency asthma inhaler if she needed it, because they were not actually allowed to dispense any kind of real medical care within the school system. Now they're trying to go against that with some of the other shit that they're saying, especially with hormone blockers, because that's a medical treatment. They are not allowed to do that under the law, yet they're trying to get around it anyway by claiming gender this and gender that and phobe and ism this and that. And it's absolute bullshit. And that's why Ron DeSantis created this bill, because it gives the powers back to the parents where it should have stayed all along. But you've seen in the early 80s, they started to try to take the responsibilities of the parent away a little bit here, a little bit there. And most people just were not paying attention at the time. And now we're in this situation where they're trying to take all the rights of the parent away by saying, oh, the kid has all the rights to make all these medical decisions. They're still a child. If that's the case, then how come children don't have their own medical plans? Seriously. I mean, this is not really difficult to understand.
It really isn't. I think you're absolutely right. Before we only have less than 30 minutes before the dump starts on Sporking News Podcast. So I want to segue out of this. Does anybody have any final thoughts on the repercussions Disney is going through before we move forward? Oh, Vinny, check the private chat for me.
I think we just need to have actual open and honest and like good-natured conversations about what's actually going on, because I think it was Vernaculus or something the other day. He posted something and he immediately deleted before I was able to post my confident stuff to it. But he's like, depending on who you ask, one side's like, oh my God, you're going to harm the children. The other side's like, oh my God, you're going to harm the children, in both in over-the-top kind of like horrific ways. And it's like, is that what this says? I thought like the big thing is, okay, we want to continue on with parental consent if you're going to teach our kids about anything like this. But then again, Vinny, I don't think you are here for this. I think this is an extension of the 2020 Supreme Court ruling back on June that was about the LGBTQ employees in that case, because that was around the same time this legislation was proposed under the former administration. Now it's going into effect. So that's,
well,
and again,
well, part of the
why
problem
parents
is
are
the
important.
original wording on that bill has to do with the employment by people of that particular group, and not being discriminated against for hire or being fired because of it. That's what that bill.
It's being assimilated as precedent for
right. But that's part of the problem is
federal
they're trying to interpret the bill in their own way to push an agenda, which is absolute nonsense because the law is very strict on the wording.
Parents and guardians, express yourselves.
All right. Oh, so before we continue forward, Kai, let me know if you want to promote Space Crime Domino before we finish the stream. Right now, we're going to take a segue into Vinnieart. Go for it, Vinny.
What's up, fellas? This is Shadow the Kraken, campaign number 6, and I am almost done with it. I'm actually doing the lettering right now. So all the artwork is done. I had ordered the a bunch of my items already for the campaign for fulfillment. So hopefully it'll be happening very soon. So as soon as all the lettering's done, I'm gonna have a couple editors go over it, and then I'm gonna be ordering a sample copy and then the major order. So we're right there, fellas. Everybody, if you want to support this, please do. This is a traditional pirate story, plenty of twists and turns. We're gonna have great treasures, action, adventure, beautiful locations, beautiful women. Yeah, you name it, it's in here. We have a really nasty villain in this book as well. Yeah, all these are in, by the way. I did get the order in for the standees, and this is something new I'm doing on the campaign as well. So each of my campaigns are going to have another character from whichever respected book that I'm going to be promoting, and I got new campaigns out for. So yeah, this is the first one. Please make sure to grab it. I only have about 100 of them that I had ordered, and we have a good number of them already spoken for right now. But yeah, I did everything in here. I wrote it, drew it, inked it, colors, lettering. It's all me, much like the City of Venus campaign. And yeah, there is going to be a supernatural twist in the story as well. So you're going to have your comic book fun. It's not just going to be like a history lesson or anything like that. We're going to be exploring the main two characters there, Captain Callan and Anne here. And yeah, you're going to see pretty much how this character, he went from being part of the Royal Navy and why he turned to piracy, what they're doing now. Say that again?
I said that's why right there, that image, right below. Scroll down a little bit.
It's yeah.
That'll turn you to piracy right there.
Tortuga.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pirates gotta have fun, right? But yeah, it's I promise you guys, it's gonna be a great time. This book is over 50 pages from front cover to back cover. And yeah, it's just all beautifully painted, meticulous artwork by me. Again, it looks like a cover on every page, because I really want people to be pulled into these worlds, get away from the madness of what's going on right now, and into some great entertainment.
And Vinny is bringing the girth with this one.
Always.
A very passionate artist, man. Oh, dude, it totally shows up there. And did I detect a hint of Laura Croft in one of the early images?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I saw a gal
in
that kind of
the
Laura
video,
Croft
there
look
was
with
like
the
a
dual
Laura Croft
pistols.
looking Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Those other. I have a lot of artwork that's actually in my other campaigns as well. So the City of Venus campaign, I have 2 art books that are attached to that. So it may or may not have anything and everything you can imagine, from a film, video game, you name it, like whatever kind of inspired me, what I love, mythology, all kinds of. Everything's in there, everything except for the kitchen sink. So, yeah, those books are awesome. The art books, I have 2 volumes, and they're 52 pages each. So, yeah, you get plenty of great work in there. Yeah, the other campaigns ship immediately, by the way. City of Venus, the hardcover ghost story, Through the Woods. That's 100 pages from front cover to back cover. Yeah, they call me the Fulfillment King. So
there they are.
Yeah, so I'm one of the most reliable creators out there, and I give you things at the highest quality. So no excuse. Get it out.
Man.
Get her done.
Get her done. Another great creator in our community, Red Gaze. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, what's up? Doing well. Kind of feeling a little weird today, but yeah, get behind this book. Like Vinnieart was just sharing some pages with me today, and I got to tell you, like all the stuff you see on these campaign pages, in the videos and whatnot, like it doesn't even do it justice. Like, I mean, these pictures look like they're photographs, man. They're painted photographs, and I'm not talking about trace photographs. Like, this is all straight out of Vinny's mind, crisp and clear and fucking beautiful. Back it. This book is worth it for the art alone. The story's also going to be bitching. Just don't pass this up. This is a great book.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, Ray got to see some firsthand stuff. He got to read some of the pages so far too. So yeah, I'm very happy and proud of that. And yeah, we're making gold here, people. We're making some of the top quality stuff. You're not going to see this shit in Marvel and DC. Literally, there's a TV show on Disney Plus about a schizophrenic. Like, what are these people? Like, do we need to have heroes that don't know who the hell they are and think I'm British? No, I'm actually I'm a good guy. What is that garbage? We have some cool stuff here. Red Gaze, this guy, he's if you want, in my opinion, He's the replacement to Star Wars, what he has with Sunsworn. You know, we're talking top quality projects, amazing books, amazing stories, fantastic worlds. That's what I think any fan should want to read and jump on. Not the garbage that they're pushing out there and their agenda. We don't need agenda. We need fun again.
No agendas, no nonsense, just fun, hard-hitting stories with characters that grow and that you'll be able to love and get into and get to know and just watch them progress and change, and just fun times, man. That's all we're peddling here is fun and good times. That's it.
I would say a little bit there. Bullshit. There is an agenda. There's a gays agenda. Get on board, bigots.
There's always the gays agenda, but the gays agenda doesn't seep into the books, right?
No. See, I thought that was like the gay mafia from Robin Williams. It's like, oh, those shit. I butchered it. I apologize, Robin Williams. But here's the thing. Now, schizophrenics are people too. I say this as somebody that's probably a psychopath, but all I'm saying is, let the market decide. If you put out things and people are receptive to it, hey, power to you. It's their money. If people aren't receptive to it, maybe you should ask some questions.
I think we could test that real quick. Memes. Do you like black coffee?
I mean, I've had black coffee.
I just read a new report that says if you drink black coffee, you're a psychopath.
Okay.
I use creamer.
I like some sugar.
Could you have said that any gayer, Steve?
Another great independent creator in our community, fellow writer, is Kai m.f.s. And he has Space Crime Domino, which is available right now. And you want to talk about this or give anybody an update, brother?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not pushing it right now because I'm a little self-conscious. I found a printing error that pissed me off, and then so I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go through. I know there's a few errors that kind of got past me and my editor here, so I'm making some fixes. I'm gonna see if I can improve the reading experience for people who have some eyesight issues, as some older people have mentioned to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have the second edition coming out. Hopefully, I'm trying to finish this by the end of the month, and then hopefully next month or by the beginning of next month, I'll have a second edition of the book out. And that's when I'll be heavily promoting it because I'm gonna be really excited to have that going. But
I tell you what, I seen very few problems when I read through that one, Kai, and I tell you what, it was guinea pig approved.
It was what?
Is there he said you're guinea pig approved, but is there any word on a potential audio version?
Yeah, I have a mic now, so
if you need any voiceovers, I like to read sometimes.
Thanks, man. I do impressions and stuff, and so I'm gonna try to do it myself and see how it goes, and give a little sample to some people. And if it goes well, then I'm just gonna do the whole audiobook myself. But that'll be once this is done.
And I've got the second edition out. Show us the girth on that book. Just come and just see the girth. That's thick. That's nice.
Difficult book to rip.
It's a big one.
Dude, it's thicker than your mohawk. That's impressive.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison too, huh? Look at. Guess we can go.
Are you gonna go on TikTok and put it on your face again?
There it goes.
M.f.s. makes books larger than the girth of his mohawk.
How thick is your book? It's about this thick.
Guys,
I use a different measuring instrument.
Please support Kai. And guys, check out Space Crime Domino and all the other wonderful books and comics that we have out right now. Please check out the Kraken. We back Vinny. He's the fulfillment king. And also check out Red Gaze, Blood Bonds, Bonds 2. You want to say anything a little about any upcoming projects, Red, before we move on?
Well, we got a lot of cool stuff in the works. Like you said, Bonds 2 is coming along. It's going to be launching in the next probably month or two. Got a super secret project I'm not really discussing yet that we're working on with a super secret artist that we're not discussing yet, but no real reason, just because we don't want to muddle the waters and be like, hey, we got this and this and this and this and this and this and this coming at you. But yeah, and of course Sunsworn 2, March of the Dominion is going to be coming out later this year as well, so stay tuned for that. Still
just Space Crime while we're talking Sunsworn.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Where's the next book?
We're talking Red Gaze here. We don't need my stuff up here anymore.
We got a lot of stuff coming down.
I want the next book, Red.
I know, Tommy. I know you're not the only one. Pale Rider's been giving me a lot of shit. I'm doing my best.
Everyone can be the fulfillment king.
Absolutely, guys. Please support your independent creators out there, whether they're YouTubers, they're writers, they're comic book artists. Just support indie. All right, we are the up and coming thing. There's no agendas but having fun, putting out good content, and enjoying the relationship that we have with fans. Not preaching to you, just giving our opinions out when we're on YouTube. But the writers, great imaginative writers out there, like Kai, like a Dega. There's people out there that have
Like
excellent
Stephen
work.
Walton.
Support them, like Stephen Walton. And also check out Sunsworn for the Red Gaze, and check out everything Vinny has in store for you. I have many of his books. I got them hanging up. Love them. They are beautiful, imaginative, well crafted, created. And the great thing about the indie sphere that I'm seeing right now is the packaging is good. The fulfillments are happening, and that's what it's all about. So please, guys, support links out for
tremendous
independent
packages.
creators.
That's the one thing Walton loves, a good package.
A clean
Good packaging is important. Yep.
Clean package.
Gotta keep it tight.
So before we head out and everybody shift over, please check out Sporking News Podcast coming up next with the dump. Before we do that, I wanted to show this video. Let's get out of there. Damn it. All right. You ready, guys?
Always.
Well, you know, Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
Wow.
Look, man, you just can't go filming me without a contract and money up front. Nah, this bullshit.
Savage.
Whew, my God. That man. Look, you see. Oh my God.
She's obviously done a great job helping them heal.
You think? You think they work?
Who is helping them exactly?
No idea.
Gods, I did one video about the slap, about my take on it. I think Jada's a manipulative woman, taking advantage of just being. I
see two vaginas.
I feel bad for Will to a degree, Vinny. I feel bad for him. I
don't know. The look on his face looked like she's doing a little bit more than just being abusive to him from the front, if you know what I mean.
Wow, you think he's pegging? Think he's getting pegged? That's terrible.
Wait, hold on. Now, Tim. Now, riddle me this. Is it just me, or does that look like Will Smith could be Phil TMT's dad?
Oh, wow.
He does.
No, just because I'm looking at some of the facial features that I've seen Phil make, and I'm like, oh, God. This might explain a lot. I apologize.
I mean, he does. Like, if you do the side to side. Phil?
I'll just join. That would be awkward. Awkward moments brought to you by the Means of Destruction. That's what my Patreon has said for the past year or so.
So we only have about 10 minutes left, so I just want to go through the panel and see what everybody thinks about this entire situation. Just give us a quick your idea. Was it staged? Was it planned? Is this a publicity stunt? I think we'll start with Kai. Kai, what did you think about this entire situation with Jada and Will since the slap at the Oscars? You're muted, brother.
Muted. All right, there we go.
Good, brother.
I did a stream about it the day after, and I thought from the beginning that it was legit. And if anyone still thinks it's staged or a publicity stunt when there's consequences, like real world consequences, he's being banned from the Academy and all this other stuff, I think they want to believe it's fake for one reason or another, and not realize that even though we kind of look at all these celebrities as a we tend to look at them all as kind of a homogenous group of narcissists or people that are detached from the world. They're still people, and some of them, especially the ones that came up from like Will, came up from poverty, are essentially in this world that's alien to them, and it screws them over sometimes, and it twists them into something that they weren't originally. And so even if we had a lot of affection for Will years ago, he's not in a place right now. It's like having a friend that's just gotten into drugs, or he's got a crappy girlfriend or wife that's like ruining his brain. And so it's really sad to see what happened. I mean, what's happened to him, but yeah, that was not staged. And I wish, even though Jada didn't do anything, this is all her fault. I'd like to see some real repercussions come down on her, even if it's via the people not supporting anything she's in. It's slanted, like just trashing her on social media forever and ever, etc. Like that, I'd like to see her just go down in flames.
Wow. Tim, what is your take on this, buddy?
Well, he looks like a broken man, but I think it was real. But in the way in which he did it, it looked like a actor slap or whatever. I don't think he put like 100% juice in it. If not, like Chris Rock took it like a champ. Like you think he would have just dropped to the ground. He's very frail and Will's built. But I think it's real, especially because of all the repercussions and backlash, 10-year ban from the Oscars and all that. So it's real, I think.
All right. Let's see. Memes, are you here with us still? I think Memes took
reasons. I
There
was
you go.
visiting the little Dargan's room. I apologize.
No, you're good.
This, it sounds like Chris Rock talked smack about Dude Man's wife. Dude Man did not take it well. He engaged with violence. Was he trying to knock him the F out? Didn't look that way from what I saw, but yeah. Violence is wrong. The memes of destruction and the author Stephen Walton channel do not promote violence unless we legalize dueling.
Legalize dueling, sir. Absolutely. Red Gaze, what is your take on all of this?
Honestly, I just don't really care that much. I don't know. Yeah, it was it staged, was it not? I really couldn't say. Like, I mean, now, like the other folks said, there are some repercussions coming down, but I don't know. This video is just saddening, man. It really is. Like, I don't know. Like you said, I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, not really, because I think a lot of it's, I don't know. Like, this is what happens when you stay together for appearance's sake.
Right. Yeah. There you, brother. And let's see, Tommy, what do you think of the Jada Will situation thus far?
This is exactly why the Guinea Pig Collective stays away from you humans as much as possible. This is why we keep our own. We don't get involved in this kind of nonsense. You know what? I really don't have that big of an opinion on it, other than I do believe initially this thing was staged. There were certain elements to it where, it doesn't look real as far as how the slap went down. And you got to remember one thing, that these guys are trained professional pretenders.
Gotcha.
That's all I got to say on it.
All right. And Vinny, what is your take?
Well, I have a meme that, well, it's not even a meme, but we'll just call it Exhibit A.
All right.
So the repercussions mean absolutely, it means dick. The reproduction. I just got to say, these people are multimillionaires. Like Tommy said, they play pretend. None of this shit matters. The Oscars don't mean dick. They haven't meant anything in the longest time. He's getting ready for it. Sissy Smack, I wanted to draw a purse in his arm over here. This was all nonsense. Yeah, Will's a cuck. Yeah, his wife's a fucking psycho. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? They haven't made good movies in like a decade, at least. This is all nonsense.
You didn't like Matrix? You didn't like the new Matrix? Jada was in it.
I didn't see the new Matrix.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Kind of
Good man.
She was halfway decent in the first season of Gotham, but I never even went through with the rest of it. Anyway, like I said, this shit is all nonsense. This is, again, people that we have to the celebrities supposed to be the gods and the people that dictate things, and the sheep are supposed to follow. Who cares? I wasn't watching the Oscars at all. I haven't watched the Oscars since I think the early 90s. I don't know. Their ratings were down the toilet. It was falling below 10 million views. In the 80s, they were like Super Bowls. You know, they had 80 to 90 million people watching. So, and again, hey, what happened that week? Does anyone remember what happened that week? Exactly. The Biden laptop happened.
Oh.
About 2 days prior to this.
Right.
And that guy, Jack Maxey, who released it all, and he has the PDFs that went out to everyone in the world with the badge. That's why the news started covering some of that Hunter Biden thing. They proved that it's real. But what took the media by storm and everywhere? This nonsense. That's why there were so many memes and people were laughing about it. They got what they wanted. So yeah, I do believe it was staged. It was staged on another level. That's what I think. Because these people, who cares? Who cares about these fucking people?
All right. Well, before we head out, Memes of Destruction would like to share something with everyone.
No, just as a quick palate cleanser, Vinnie's art. At one point, you had a great bird there, and it reminded me of this time when I was in another industry at a client's, and all of a sudden, I felt something climbing up me, and then all of a sudden, I turned to the side. I'm like, "Oh, this macaw has climbed me." It's very friendly. No, they had this bird in its cage. It let itself out of its cage, and then it climbed up onto me. And your parrot and your artwork reminded me of this bird. Although the funny thing is, from this old photograph, I'd say your artwork is actually better than the actual bird, or at least visually.
Everyone loves the parrot. I told you from day one that parrot is the star.
I know, dude.
We're all going to hell.
Thank you, guys. Wow. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Oh, wait, the red gaze. Hold up.
That's Exhibit B.
Oh, wow.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
I said, our buddy Chris Fisk, I wanted to call him by his stripper name, which is Alopecia Jones.
On the bullet train now, boys.
Oh boy.
No, I'm sorry, Luscious Alopecia. That was the name.
Luscious, yeah.
Luscious. That's it.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you all for being here. We're going to do our outros because we've only got a few minutes till Sporking News Podcast, The Dump, coming up next. Ryan Kendall's going to be on there tonight. Looking forward to that. First, we shall say, Memes, tell them where they can find you, brother.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? You can find me here on the YouTubes at The Memes of Destruction, on the Twitters at Meme Destruction, and on the Pornhubs at Memes of Destruction.
All right. Thank you. Yes, check out Pornhub for the Memes of Destruction. Next up, Tim Possible. Tim's Talks.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, you can find me on TikTok where I hang out with my weirdos because they're weird, but hit me up, though, on Twitter, on Instagram, and Twitter, Kylo_Tim1, and on Tim's Talk. Thanks for having me on. Had a great time.
Good, Tim. Hope you come back soon, brother. Next up is Kai m.f.s. Tell me where they can find you, brother.
Hey, I'm here on YouTube, youtube.com/KaiMFS. I do a late night show weekdays at 11 p.m. Pacific, and I've started making some anime videos and some highlights and stuff like that. So, yeah, check me out. I'll be having book updates real soon.
All right. Thank you, man. Thanks for being here. Guys, please check out Kai and subscribe to his channel. Next up is Vinnieart.
Hey, guys. Yeah. Sorry for if I get a little too heated sometimes. Some of these topics have been driving me insane. But yeah, my workload is always a lot, but I make sure to give you guys the best of the best. Check out my YouTube channel. I do toy reviews on there. I have art lessons for people as well. So I teach them how to draw and make comic books, and from anatomy to composition, all that great stuff. I'm going to be getting back to that once this book is done and fulfilled, and while I'm working on the next project, which is City of Venus 2. I'll be doing more streams like that and having a little more fun. I'll be doing some more co-hosting as well for the Collectible Pass with Tommy, because we do a toy stream on his channel on Thursdays, but we'll start doing a back and forth once this book is done. 1 week on his, 1 week on mine. It's gonna be a good time. And Sundays are my chill stream. So if you guys want to come hang out, we talk about all sorts of crazy stuff, strange topics, fun stuff. But yeah, we keep the laughs coming. And yeah, that's where you'll catch more Robert Loggia. And we got Harrison. He always stops by in there because Kathleen Kennedy's got shit breath. But we make sure to cover all the good stuff. Sometimes we get our other appearances by like the Fauci. You're wrong, Rand Paul. You're wrong. Get your boosters. Somebody shoot that guy, please. Infowars.com. You get all the vitamins there, vitality pills, all that great stuff. We get John China.
Stephen Walton does not condone Alex Jones' words.
He pops up as well. She, ping, But yeah, we have a good time with this. So yeah, check us out. It's tomorrow night around 9 p.m. And yeah, it'll be a good time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for being here. Next up, the Red Gaze.
Hey, what up? Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter. Sunstorm.com is where you find the good stuff for now. Yeah, The Probe is our flagship show. It's a Thursday at 6 o'clock, right before Collectible Pass with 2 guineas. So make sure you subscribe to both channels, tune in to both shows. Also been doing some occasional morning shows, so tune in for that, usually around 10 o'clock Eastern. Comes and goes. But yeah, thank you all. And good to be here. Good to see you, Stephen. Keep doing you, brother.
Thank you, brother, very much. And the man who's fire on outros is only rivaled by my own, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? First off, hey, I'd like to say it was pretty good seeing Harrison again up here on the panel. And I'll tell you what, buddy, you'll be amazed at the things that I just did to the port side of the Millennium Falcon. It was a good time had by all, especially me. Don't listen to that guy. He's never shooting straight. Yeah, if you want the straight shot, come to me. I'll tell you, it was the conservatives, the alien conservatives. They did it all, and they're taking orders from Splenda. But no, guys, if you check in your fridge and you see everything's gone, the lettuce and the carrots, and you follow the guinea pig trail of jelly beans all the way back to my channel, you find me talking about old toys, retro toys being done right, and of course, old movies, having fun on going old school retro discussions on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And as Red and Vinny has already so graciously mentioned, our joint show with Vinny and I, United Underground presents Collectible Past, hosted by 2 guineas, guinea pigs. YouTube, don't strike us for that one. There's plenty of other things you can strike us for, but not that one. But guys, thank you so much for coming. You guys are amazing in the chat. If you weren't here, this wouldn't be so much of a fun show. And remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent. Damn toes get nibbled off. Later, y'all.
Hell, brother. Guys, please subscribe to all the wonderful people on this panel. I want to thank Tim and Memes and Kai for coming by. That's the great. I've enjoyed working with so many various people in our indie sphere, and I just keep meeting more and more. And it's a shame that I haven't been able to work with everybody, but I'm very happy to see when I get the chance to have someone come by. Please check out their channels. Subscribe to those channels. These are good people in our community. Check out Space Crime Domino from Kai, another writer in the community. Love having him up, and hopefully have him on the author interviews here soon to discuss his book. Please check out everything from Vinnieart, the fulfillment king. Love this man, have for years, just like Red Gaze. We've also got great content as well as great ideas, great books and comics, along with Nerium coming to you. And check out Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. It doesn't get any more real than Tom. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We don't have an industry to support us. We only have each other, and we rise together. I want to thank everyone in the chat for sharing out the link and and everybody watching it later on. Thank you very much for being here. Please support your favorite independent creators out there. And, I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian. Born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. Peace.
Who had told us at a town hall